Right. Should be streaming on YouTube and on Facebook and coming up on wakeupuk.net. The last of these Wednesday night shows on Daily Chaos. And I thought we'd go out on a quiet note. You know what I mean? Just have everybody's, I don't know, so head up. No point being head up, for crying out loud. Just relax. Take some calls. I don't know. Maybe do some ASMR. Two minutes, people. 2 minutes. Please share the show. Yeah, Zen show tonight. And if you want to call in, get Zoom. Download it, get the app or whatever. Just click the link in the description. Just click the link. It'll do all the rest for you. Nice. Right. You know what? Hey folks. Deja vu on a Wednesday. Welcome to the Daily Chaos. I'm Olly Connelly. And welcome to ZEN Show. ZEN Show. Yeah, ZEN Show. Yeah, we're going to chill tonight, yeah. We're going to chill. Too much fear. What a load of old bollocks. Know what I mean? I thought we'd do some yoga. I got Boozy here. Yeah, he knows a thing or two about yoga. I've got Magnum Anon, who's popped back from earlier this afternoon with some of his conspiracy theories too. And I think that old Jay's going to be popping in. Jay Mac, who's probably just about popped in now, actually. And you too. You can call in just by clicking the link in the description. It's a complete free-for-all tonight. We're going to see what happens. Want to see the maximum number of people we can get on the show at the same time. I think the record so far with Daily Brexit was 12. And it managed to be relatively organised as well. So maybe we'll get less Zen with these kind of numbers. But we'll have a go. And who knows? Maybe we can just have one enormous, great big Pilates workout or whatever. Anyway, yeah, Boozy, mate. God bless you, man. Thanks for popping back. Out of interest, I put the link for Zoom. Just click that link and follow the prompts. Download the app on whatever device you're using, and there you go. Bob's your uncle. Chris, out of interest, as soon as I posted the I don't know, the show starting or whatever, you were already there. How did you get in so quick?
Because I have the software downloaded on my computer for Zoom, because I have to use it for college, and that number you've got there, all I need to do is copy that number into my thing, go join, and bang, I'm in.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that. You sneaky devil.
All I need is a number. All I need is that number for the show, and I can be in.
Right. Okay. Good on you, man. Well, it's good to see you back. Thank you. We'll doubtless be talking a bit more about what we were discussing earlier, which will come
one thing I did want to bring up that we didn't get a chance to say about the media. Now, I had to do a meeting, a midway check-in with my politics lecturer, who is a liberal who also assists on the campaign of a Democrat for mayor.
This is California libtard. Yeah.
Yeah, who's also using my paper for future classes, because it was an A-grade paper on the racism within progressivism and liberalism, which probably wasn't what he wanted to do, but he needed to use the A-grade papers for examples of how to do it. So he's going to be doing that, but he's seeming to realize where I'm coming from about the lies of the media, as he's, even with their using Chinese propaganda talking points, it's got to such a level now that even liberals like him are starting to realize that the mainstream media sources that they're using are a lot more overtly political than they thought they were, and actually are pushing a specific agenda, and that even for them, they're going a bit too far now.
Yeah.
So it's becoming it seems like they're almost over-egged too much. And in California, what we're also seeing with the guns is a lot of anti-gun people trying to go into gun stores because they're now scared and want to get hold of guns, which is a concern of itself. But they're using the talking points of the anti-gun politicians, thinking that they can just go in and buy a gun and don't have a wait period, and they don't need the background checks, and they can just pick up a gun willy-nilly without any form of. And what I'm being told by some of my friends who work in gun stores is that they're going, well, you wanted it this way.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You voted for the politicians that make it harder. So, but I need a gun today. Well, you can't have a gun today. You've got to wait for 10 working days at least. But I want to get this. Oh, your background check. You've never had anything. Your background check is going to take 30 days.
Yeah. No, it's something that I think in the UK, guns taken away, and it's a real worry because the society is so fractured. We've already seen kind of like mini riots, not riots as such, but we've seen, for example, there was some Iceland vans that were burnt out last night, Bristol way, I think. There was some youths that were confronted by police, and the youths just started chucking missiles at the police and stuff like that. Sort of silly stuff at the moment, but I think we're going to see it, aren't we? It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Friday when folks aren't allowed to go into the mosques. I have to say, quite frankly, we have a very fractured society in the UK. Whereas in Spain,
they've got guns. So I'd like to see the police try and stop them.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Mosque.
We're about to find out. The average Joe, Chris, they can't defend themselves. And the police in stage 4, Boris has got a 4-stage plan, hasn't he? Stage 4 is when the police stand down for home burglary and stuff like that. But a whole bunch of crime, people will be able to do.
We've already got that. We've already got the police are stood down here.
Really?
For anything
so that's why the libtards suddenly realise they need guns to defend themselves.
Yeah. 'Cause unless basically an assault, unless it puts you in the hospital bed, isn't going to be investigated by the police. Theft, unless it's like we're talking tens of thousands, or it's being used with there's a theft with a weapon involved, they ain't going to be doing anything. They've actually said that we've got to allocate resources effectively, and unfortunately petty crime we're not going to deal with.
It's a big worry. We've got Marcus popped in too. That's Magnum Anon in Ohio, stateside. Chris, by the way, is in California at the moment. Hey, Marcus, how you doing, sir?
Doing great. How are you all doing today?
Very good indeed, thank you. What did you have a nice dinner? We were talking just earlier. We're having
I haven't eaten yet, actually. Probably I'll wait an hour or so.
All right, good. It's quite early there, isn't it? It's about 5 o'clock your time, 5 p.m. or so.
That's right.
All right, okay. We are 9 o'clock in the UK, 10 o'clock Central Europe. Right. Yep. Okay. So we're going out now. Just before I open up this conversation with these guys, and we've got Jay Kerry just popped in as well. Before I open up this conversation with you guys here, just so you know, if you're watching the show, please share it for a start, and also this is a call in. Yeah, call in on Zoom, have a bit of a chat, any questions, what have you. Give us some funny stories, yeah. Because I don't know about you, but I'm so fed up with all the the crap in the rags. It's all getting so tedious. I'm fed up of bog roll stories as well. The best thing you can do with a rag is to use it as bog roll, by the way, it seems to me. But anyway, look, give us a shout. Just click on the link and have a chat and what have you. But we were talking earlier on Daily Chaos, the earlier show. We were talking about what maybe could happen with this, the prospects of this coronavirus, whatever, being some kind of a cover, or maybe something that just happened but that Trump is now perhaps using to get rid of globalization, to change the face of the world. which was all very, very fascinating. Maybe check that show out. But I'm kind of interested tonight in also looking at the other side of the coin, which is that it is a play to derail the Trump presidency, and that they couldn't get rid of him in the that thing called an election campaign, which is when you normally derail the opponent. By the way, Democrats, just in case you're watching, they couldn't do that. They failed with Mueller. They failed with the impeachment. They basically failed. They've only got Joe Biden, for crying out loud, and he's got Alzheimer's or something. I don't know. So basically they're pretty fucked. Sorry, excuse me. It's late night in Europe. Yeah, they're pretty screwed up. So what do? Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe now play with this, guys. I just want to see your thoughts on this, and maybe run with this scenario. This coronavirus whatnot is a ploy to get rid of Trump through a different way. To not just Trump, but maybe to get rid of the Brexit thing. A kind of a play for a one world government, as opposed to being something to get rid of globalization, which was kind of what we were talking about earlier, or maybe it could be used that way. Maybe it's a last ditch attempt to tank the economy, to get rid of Trump, and to, I don't know, make us all absolutely dependent. And I'll give you some kind of basis of reason for this scenario. It is from that abject whatnot, Henry Kissinger again, who said off the back of the Rodney King riots in, what was that, 82 or something, he went off to Bilderberg and he had a chat with them there, and he said, if we put the right conditions in play, they will, the plebs, the useless eaters, as he would call us, will be dying for there to be UN troops on the streets, i.e. martial law. And we're pretty much there now. So what would you say, Magnum, Marcus, first of all, perhaps? What are your thoughts about this possibility that coronavirus is actually some kind of a, treatise, if you like, between the Democrats, the globalists, all the Tony Blairs of this world, all that lot, sharks, war criminals, and the Chinese, who are basically the same, who've just got a bad deal out of the Trump trade thing after all. What would you say to the idea that this is a giant conspiracy to derail the draining of the swamp, as it were?
I don't believe it's necessarily a treaty treaties between the different factions of the cabal or the global world versus our government or Trump and his intelligence apparatus. I honestly believe that this was the final solution, something that was going to happen regardless. Like I mentioned earlier, I was well aware of the Middle East respiratory syndrome and its connection to coronavirus in 2014. Mm-hmm. So I truly believe that this was intended. It was meant to happen. Whether it was a bioweapon or a perfect storm, it was stimulated and encouraged by our global environment and how we are culturally in our modern age, the most advanced, traveled, since, if you want to look at it, pre-flood, civilization-wise, we are a global civilization. Regardless of whether we are one culture or not, we are still, as humanity is concerned, global, and we are all over the place. We move a lot. There is business happening every day that takes people everywhere. So I think they use one of our greatest strengths against us to spread the virus. And there is data that shows that there is intelligent design in there, meaning there was a gene technology used, my understanding is called CRISPR, to put certain traits from SARS and HIV into this specific germ or organism. So understanding that and knowing my experience and what I have been exposed to from the past, I am more inclined to believe that this is something that would have happened regardless of whether it was Trump or Hillary. And keep in mind, it was a 16-year plan to destroy the United States, to destroy the Western civilization. That's what Q has discussed. It was a 16-year plan, and if they had got Clinton in, we would be in a completely different and probably more dire, completely more dire situation than we are now. So I have no fear. My fear, truth be told, was the night before November, the night before the elections, pretty much, because if something chaotic or out of the control or out of man's plan or out of our our general day-to-day direction that we've been going in our progress as a people, it would have had to been something chaotic, like another 9/11 per se. But I truly believe this was planned far before the 2016 election, because it was already in the population in the Middle East back then, but it wasn't reported on by mainstream. So,
when is anything important reported by mainstream?
Go on, Boozy. What do you say to that?
What I just said was that when is anything important reported by the mainstream media? They don't want us to know what's going on. They have their talking points, and even when they got asked in a congressional meeting about Mockingbird. Now, the interesting thing, they try and say that in those when they had those congressional hearings, the CIA denied the existence of Mockingbird. If you actually go back to it,
that Mockingbird was basically the killing of Cubans.
Mockingbird was the intelligence apparatus, namely the CIA, placing agents within the news agencies, as newsreaders and stuff, and as editors of newspapers, so that they would pass the approved storyline into the media, which obviously is a big issue. As it completely negates it completely goes against the First Amendment and the freedom of the press. But when you actually look back to the congressional hearings on it, and when the then director of CIA is asked about it, he doesn't say no. He says, "I can't not talk to you about this in this setting. This would need to be discussed in a closed setting, i.e., I'm not going to discuss this in front of the plebs. You can hear about it in a closed session where there's no media present, so there's nothing going to be reported. We are not going to talk about this." And if it had been a denial, there was nothing stopping them from denying the existence of it in an open congressional session.
Yes.
Is that
right?
If they had denied it in open session, there would have been different steps taken back then. This Q operation didn't start with Trump. It didn't start with, it's been ongoing since probably just before JFK's assassination. There's just way too much evidence that points towards the at least for me, way too much evidence that points towards the Army and the Green Berets and the constitutional warriors and the intelligence apparatus in the military, in the Army. It's specifically the Army being activated back in 69, 67, when those hearings were being held. I mean, there's just way too much as far as inaction. You know, JFK's assassination, there was nothing that happened after that. The Zapruder films came out and they were edited to all hell, and nothing was done about it. So the lack of evidence, to me, you know, in the fact that we are a constitutional republic and there are ancient families in our country, just like there's ancient families in the UK and in Spain. There's ancient families that are here. Those same families have protected us, you know, for hundreds of years now. They've kept us from falling into chaos. We've been kept out of chaos. Even through the Civil War, we were kept out of chaos. Through the War of 1812 and after that, we were kept out of chaos. You know, we may have still been subjects of the crown, I'm finding, you know, after the War of 1812, but it was obfuscated, it was hidden from the plebs. But my not seeing anything happen is overwhelming evidence that something was in the works, that this plan has been decades in the works. If not, you know, to some people they say this is a biblical, that when this is over, it's going to be biblical. You know, it's going to be biblical. So even beyond 50, 60 years ago, we're talking about a plan that has been written down in the Bible for thousands of years.
We're in the times of Revelation.
We've got the locusts. The locusts are flying all over Ethiopia or something, aren't they? They're having a good old fly about.
When we actually look at the Bible,
Yemen.
we're clearly in the times of Revelation.
Blimey. I just want to take a few comments. Amanda Rolfson says, are they going to investigate the Spanish nursing home where staff walked out and left pensioners to die or dying and to fend for themselves? Should be done for manslaughter. Thanks, Amanda. That just cheered me right up. That did. It is true that happened in Spain, apparently. And apparently it is being investigated. That's an awful thing, wasn't it? It was an awful thing. Here's a thought, Ollie. She says, why not get your missus to come on the show and also do some chit-chat with us too, like a large family? Because she likes her anonymity, Amanda, is the reason why. And, yeah, it's probably sensible to keep it that way. God bless her. I mean, she's awesome, you know. But, yeah, probably best to keep it that way. George Colley says, MOD and NHS use Excel Centre for 4,000 beds, NHS Hospital. Ministry of Defence and the NHS, National Health Service, use Excel Centre for 4,000 bed. The Excel Centre in London. Yeah, they're using the Excel Centre. Yeah, they are. You know, I had a. I'm sorry, I didn't want to have a depressing show yet. You know what? Twice as many people die from flu as they do from coronavirus. I just wanted to say that, just to make you feel better. Apparently, they in Madrid have set up a morgue in an ice rink. That's nice, isn't it?
Chilled.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. But if you're ice skating there, just be careful or you're going to trip. George Colley also says the MSM are not even reporting on the Turkey-Greek border. It's a battlefield there. I'm changing the subject slightly here, and I want to bring in Jay Carey as well in a sec. God bless him. I was racking my brains earlier. I saw this video from Ben Swan, who's on RT and stuff, and you probably watch his vids. He's a good geezer, he seems to me. But he was saying how all these stats are way out of kilter, because actually a lot more people do die of flu than are dying of this COVID-19 disease or whatever. And he pointed out, if you actually go to the CDC, the Centre of Disease Control website, They're based stateside. They're, I don't know, affiliated with a WHO or whatever. And they on their website, they show that 10% of flu sufferers die of flu. This isn't man flu, yeah. This isn't your man flu nonsense. This is real flu, like you can't get out of bed type flu. About 10% die of that. So that's not very pleasant, is it? Whereas I did some maths earlier, and there was 413,000 or so cases of this corona whatnot, and then 18,400 and something deaths, around the world. And if you do your maths on that, it's 4.5%, which is about half of the number that die of flu. But that isn't really the problem, though, is it? The problem is the hospitals are becoming inundated with, nobody's immune. No, it's a new thing. It's a new thing. And so nobody's immune to it. And therefore, and I don't know how many people have got just think that they've got a runny nose or something and they go to the hospital or whatever, dial 999, all that silly people. But probably the vast majority, when you look at the intensive care units, they're not just calling them up thinking they've cut their thumb peeling a potato. They really, really have got it. And these places are inundated. So that is basically why we've got the situation we are. But nonetheless, in terms of actually being fearful about it, if you're going to fear anything, fear flu. Relatively speaking. I just want to put things into perspective there, yeah. But be
proactive in your own health. I mean, I've been telling people you got to get sunlight. You have to drink plenty of water, and it might actually do you good to do some breathing exercises, because the way it's being explained to me, those who are suffering from this are having severe respiratory issues. I've been told that it's like your lungs turn to glue. And I'm trying to imagine, how could a person allow themselves get to the point where they're unable to breathe? Are you not blowing your nose? Are you not taking the precautions, taking your vitamins? Are you not doing the things that you need to do to keep your immune system healthy? I don't understand that. But then again, I understand some people can't do that. So
it's what we discussed last
time.
Seems
common sense-wise to me that you should be loving yourself and taking care of yourself.
There's a lot of people doing that. In Italy, they got free YouPorn, haven't they? Right, so Jay Carey, good evening, sir. Good to have you back on the show as well. Jay Carey, Magnum Anon, and Chris Boozy. Right, so Jay, what's your take on where we are? Do we have any choice but to be in total abject lockdown, with the stock market done very well in the last couple of days, but still down a good, I don't know, maybe it was just corrected. You tell me. What's going on, mate? Where are we?
Well, honestly, I don't see what choice we've got at the moment. I mean, we're locked indoors. We're allowed to go out once for exercise. What else can we do? But it's a turning point. I'm seeing it as two ways. It's a fork in the road. That's how I see it. And what you're saying about QAnon, Boozy, and who's on Magnum, is that name?
Yes, Magnum Anon.
Magnum Anon.
Marcus as well. We can be more personal.
I'm guessing you're with the QAnons. Or part of the QAnons.
Magnum?
Yeah.
I follow Q. I've been an anonymous for a long time. I changed my name on Facebook a long time ago, just because I don't use Facebook for family stuff. I use it specifically for activism or awareness or even sharing information, because nobody else is sharing that information. So I was like, okay, well, I've got to share it. I've got to tell people, because I can't just let it pass over my shoulder like everybody else does.
Yeah, so same with me. I don't use mine for personal.
A little bit safe.
But I don't use mine personal, and I lost my account a few months ago because I couldn't prove that my name was Joe Blogs. And that was the problem. Yeah, well, I put my name in Joe Blogs, and they said, well, have you got any passport or anything to prove that? I said, no, I haven't. And they said, right, well, you're losing your account then. So, fortunately, I had this account in 2008.
It's not easy getting a thingy account, is it?
What, a Facebook account?
Yeah, as soon as I try to get a second one, they're like all over it. They're like, yeah, we know who you are.
Well, you've got to try and use a VPN or something. You don't want to do it for the same IP address, do you?
I know that. It still doesn't work. I don't know. Anyway, carry on.
Well, I had 2 accounts anyway.
I came on Facebook and then I lost all my family.
The one I lost, the account I lost, was actually made after the one I've got now. I've had this one since Facebook started in 2007, was it? 2006? Yeah. Where's he gone? Oh, he's gone. Yeah. Oh, different news. Remember that kid that people have been watching on...
Sorry, I was having to sort out my support.
The one who's licking... The one who's... Yeah, the one who's been... No, not Greta Thunberg.
The bloke that licked the loo.
There's this viral video of a kid licking deodorant bottles. Yeah, well, he's actually looking at 5 years in prison now.
Really? Why?
The video's five seconds long. But it went viral, didn't it, of him looking...
Didn't he? He reckoned he got coronavirus.
Some of the people...
Group of them did. More than one.
That guy who lives in Beverly Hills got corona, didn't he, after licking a public toilet seat?
Really? Why on earth would anybody want to lick a toilet?
And he lives in Beverly Hills.
Unfortunately, it's a new one that they're doing. You know, like the Tide Pods. The new one is lick a toilet seat. It's absolutely insane.
It's called the coronavirus challenge, just like the ice bucket challenge and all that bullshit.
To be blunt,
I bet they all want Diane Abbott to be Home Secretary.
They want Pelosi.
These are the same people who vote for Pelosi and the like. So yeah,
morons, absolute morons. The
world is a little bit of justice, isn't it? 5 years.
What are we going to do about the morons? You know, I think morons are far more dangerous than COVID-19.
I've been seeing a lot of videos of Chinese people actually licking stuff, spitting on fruit in supermarkets, and I think I've seen about 10 videos of that so far. Yeah, why are the Chinese doing it?
What are they doing?
They're spitting on food in supermarkets. They're infecting. They've been caught trying to infect food. Why are they trying to do it? I mean, these are people that live in America, Chinese people.
Really?
They're doing it in the United States, or are they doing it in China?
They're doing it in the United States. They're actually Walmart, I think, was one of them. Yeah, but I mean, what are they sleeper agents or something?
They do like spitting. The Chinese, they do like spitting.
The way it sounds to me is there is
but spitting all over fruit, in the supermarket.
Oh no. No, but we're getting that in the UK with youths spitting at police and stuff like that. I mean, where is the... I don't know.
And that recent story about those 2 youths who were coughing in that woman's face, the old woman's face, and gave her black
that's right.
eye. And then Tommy Robinson comes out.
Tommy Robinson went to try and sort her out, and then the police start having a go at him.
He gets told off, and then the BBC report it, and they don't name Tommy Robinson. They just say someone intervened.
Huh.
Because they can't give him that credit, can they? He's already a Muslim rapist, racist, and he's Muslim racist. Can't give him the credit for looking after an old woman. Not the BBC.
Yeah, and they don't seem to be really doing anything from what I see in America about the price gouging. From what I see in America, they're not doing anything about the price gouging in the UK really, because what we're seeing is people from a particular background, I'm going to put it that way, are going to discount stores and supermarkets and buying out all of the must-have items once they've been put on the shelves, and then taking them back to their little shops.
Yeah,
and then selling them for double the price.
They got and selling like, oh yeah, we're going to charge you. We're going to get one of these little tubs of sanitizer, and we're going to charge you £20 for a little bottle. But they don't seem to really be doing anything about it. Because probably because it's racist to deal with, because it's a particular section of society that's doing it.
Well, Tesco and Asda have recently announced that they're limiting stuff to three per product line, so you can only buy 3 of each thing.
Are we not being racist even suggesting that, though? Because, I mean, I don't know. Maybe white people are doing that as well. I don't know. But I had
whoever wants to make money is doing it.
Seem to be privileged white people. I'm serious. I have not seen anybody other than that. I was at Costco and there was a lady loaded boxes of
tissues onto a pickup truck. Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw that video.
Just recently, pretty much all the stores here in Columbus, Ohio, they started limiting everybody on anything essential. So milk, eggs, toilet paper.
They should have done that in the first place, really.
Right. Well,
nobody needs a pickup truck full of toilet roll, do they?
Oh, it maybe we might if this is actually a cure. The chloroquine and the other one, apparently the side effect is explosive diarrhea. So it might be that we need that amount of toilet paper.
I tried to get some chloroquine today, and I went in and I said I was in India last year and I didn't get any malaria pills, so I thought I'd do it this time. And they said, well, no, you can't have it. You have to fill out this huge form, and then you have to go as the tickets to prove that you're actually going on holiday. And I said, what, just to get chloroquine? And I said, yeah.
Yeah, so, because they've got to build up the supplies of it.
Exactly.
Who's that?
That wasn't a problem.
Who's on the bog? That's Marcus, isn't it? Marcus?
What?
Did you just go to the loo?
No.
What was that?
I'm sitting here. I had an airplane fly overhead.
Oh, okay. What are you in the shed or something?
No, I'm in my condominium. I live like right on the flight path for our.
Man, that sounded like an earthquake. I thought it was just a toilet flush or something. But so you've still got flights.
Here, I can mute my mic and just.
I bet property's cheap on flight path, isn't it?
They've probably just flown straight in from Wuhan, mate. If I were you, if they sneezed overhead, you better put a tissue over you.
Not in America. There's no flights coming in from Wuhan. I can tell you that much.
I'm gonna check that now. See if that's true.
Because apparently the government's the ban's still in place for China.
Really?
Well, according to the flights for today, San Francisco and New York from Wuhan.
Oh,
still good.
Well, yeah.
As well as London, Rome, Istanbul.
Could they not be bringing Brits back or something, or else essential items like
we don't know
vials of coronavirus that they can chuck in the chemtrails, stuff like that.
No, they're bringing the adrenochrome back, aren't they?
Right.
Well, that's probably why there's a direct flight from Wuhan to San Francisco, isn't it?
That'll be it, yeah. Untainted adrenochrome.
We've got Charles Ernest Spencer in the comments says the UK orders 10,000 ventilators from Dyson. Likely Dyson will reverse the motors on its vac cleaners to blow instead of to suck.
Oh, I have got a funny little thing that was shared to me, just to lighten the mood a little bit, which I reshared. Prince Charles is isolating in Balmoral with COVID-19. Prince Andrew is isolating in Windsor with Jennifer, age 14.
No, very naughty. Not laughing at all. You're honest.
I knew Cuphead would get it sooner or later.
He buggered off, didn't he? So how come he can go off to his second home or whatever, and all that I don't know, London Soho set or whatever, they can't go down to Dorset?
Well, how come Philip can crash into someone and then blame them for it?
Yeah, that's right.
Royalty, innit?
Could this be the way they're going to bump off Charles?
Oh.
Because
I know, I'm not going to say anything.
Because they know
Eh?
that he's unpopular, and to be honest, he probably would be the end of the monarchy. He would be the end of the monarchy in the UK.
Yeah, I'll give it 10 years.
There's no chance. There's no chance.
Could it be a case that they're going to let COVID take him, so William can just take on the mantle?
No, they'll push him off a cliff and then.
He's not that unpopular. He's not that unpopular, though, Chris. I mean, he should be. I mean, the guy hung out with Savile and called Savile his marriage guidance counsellor. But the fact is that the British public haven't cottoned on to that.
I think there are people that have, but also bear in mind the flag that flew at Camelot.
Hey? What's that?
Don't you know about the flag that flew at Camelot Castle?
Elaborate. What's
the Q flag was raised at Camelot Castle, and President Trump has been named to the Order of Camelot by the people that own Camelot Castle. And that happened at the same time that he did his state visit to the UK, which could potentially mean that because historically the British never actually lost control over America. It was just done swept under the carpet.
Yeah, under Rothschilds and
this would be that the raising of the Q flag at Camelot was supposed to signify that the British royal family no longer controls America, and that Trump has now been elevated above them.
A separation of power?
Well, basically, America is no longer subservient to Britain by and under the control of the royal family, even though officially that had already happened. In reality, it hadn't, and now basically the Queen is now subservient to the president, which obviously with the background of knowledge,
hold on a sec. Who's cooking?
Look, someone making something.
Is that Marcus?
Yeah, he must be making something in the kitchen or something.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Are you cooking?
No, I'm still sitting in my bedroom.
Who's making all that noise? Someone's making lots of noise.
No, I'm not making any noise.
Am I making noise?
I don't know.
I was about ready to say. I was alluding to the point. I was reading earlier, or a couple months ago, actually, about the War of 1812, and I alluded to this earlier when I said I don't believe we really
actually achieved independence.
Independence during the war, the Revolutionary War. That there was a treaty signed before we even fought the war.
That was the public story.
A culling of the population.
The public story was that you were fighting for your independence, and then you got Rockefeller working under Rothschilds to keep the whole empire together, but under the guise of being independent.
And that's what a lot of what the Fed is involved in. But this is the interesting thing, because with Trump's position in relation to paedophilia and Prince Charles' purported acts with Savile, I'm going to be polite here.
Alleged, we say alleged.
Alleged, yes. That would mean that, and the issues that, because there's quite clearly animosity between Charles and Trump, this could be that because we know how the Queen is, anything to protect the royal family, including throwing her own children under the bus.
So is the Queen.
So it could well be that an arrangement's been made that the only acceptable is William to take it on, because they feel that they can work with him.
I'd go with that, because William is he's part of Princess Diana, isn't he?
Yeah, and if you notice, he really stays out of politics.
And he looks nothing like Charles either. He's actually major. What's his name?
Well, Harry's now gone completely doolally.
Yeah.
He's gone to Canada, hasn't he?
Another moron.
But the thing is, his wife is close friends with Alex Soros.
What? Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle.
Well, is that George's son?
So
or
she's
probably
probably an adrenochrome bitch.
Who do you think set up that whole engagement? No, I'm not going to say anything. What Ollie, don't worry. I'm just saying, who do you think set up
the Boulay? The Boulay.
Who set up the meeting? The meeting.
The Boulay,
that whole joining.
Because it was a blind date, wasn't it? So
hold on, whoa, one at a time. Jay, what was that again? Quickly, who set up what?
All right. In the United States,
no, Marcus, just one sec. Jay, who set up what?
The unholy union between Harry and
Meghan. Right. Okay.
Meghan Markle.
Marcus,
who set that up?
Right, Marcus. What was your response to that?
It wasn't love. It was like a mutual agreement, wasn't it?
Well, God knows. I don't know. I mean, to me, she looks like the back end of a bus.
There was a blind date. I know that much. So who set up the blind date?
Right. Okay, fine. Marcus, what were you going to say?
How could be a blind date?
I'm thinking
Jay,
she's one of the
shut
Oprah
up.
Winfrey insides.
Sorry.
Like, that was a
Marcus again, please.
That was in a Hollywood Harvey Weinstein setup. I truly believe it. I could be
what do you
wrong,
mean?
but
Where do you get that? Where do you get that? Where do you get that?
All right. Okay, so are you familiar with the secret society called the Boulay?
The Blay?
The Boulay. It's a French secret society. It's a
like creme brulee.
Never heard of that. Never heard of that. Go on.
Boulay.
What is it?
They're kind of like I'm trying to give you an idea of who they are. They're kind of like the Flavians. Like the
Fabians.
Aristocracy in the writers' guilds and the actors' guilds.
He comes from Ohio, yeah. I mean, kind of a break. The aristocracy. Go on.
Well, we've not done that good with the monarchy, have we? We could get rid of the monarchy. And
we have just as many levels of high society here. The thing is when you have interminglings in the secret society.
Hold on, who's watching their telly? That's who's that?
What?
That's Andy. God bless you. That's Reese. Andy Reese. Andy, turn the knob down. Turn the knob down, MacBook Pro. So I can hear your background noise.
This is why they call it a daily chaos.
Go on. God bless you, mate. Right, okay, hold on. Finish. Who's got the bloody noise going on? Andy, I'm gonna mute you for a sec because I want to hear this wonderful conspiracy theory which is about to tell us why Meghan Markle is actually an Anunnaki, but. Yeah, you see, it was Andy. It was Andy with his noise there. MacBook Pro is trying to be anonymous, and I broke his cover. I apologise. Magnum, sorry, go on. You were telling us about the Tony Blair Society or something.
Tony Blair Society. I'm not sure who all's involved. I've seen bits and pieces of information that discusses a secret society amongst our Hollywood elite. Okay, and it's more than just the pedophile elite because this stretches into the music industry. It kind of branches all different aspects, and the common thread is those who are actors or musicians. And my understanding is Meghan comes from the Boulay, who are another one of those, like, what do you call them? Satanic. I don't know what the actual name is for the specific cabal. Like,
Skull and Bones.
I want to say Heaven's Gate, but Hell's Gate. I can't remember the name of the group, but anyways, they meet with royalty in England. Regularly, almost like the Bilderbergs, they meet and they
the Privy Council.
They have their eyes wide shut, parties and all that type of stuff. My understanding is that she's tied into that, or maybe he's tied into that.
I don't know.
Megan's probably not a woman. But that's my own opinion. That's my own perspective.
Okay, all right. Okay,
hypothetically speaking.
Fine. We just lost Andy. He just buggered
off. He said his audio's bad, so he's going to have to leave.
Oh, no. Come back. And we'll work
nobody
it
read
out.
the chat in here. Nobody read the chat.
Hold on. How do you get the chat? Oh,
at the bottom it says chat.
Go. Oh, yeah. Oh,
gonna love you and leave you. My audio's not so good.
Boozy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Marcus, mate. You've come out with some fascinating stuff tonight, but that sounds a bit hypothetical to me.
Okay, I'll tell you what. There is. All I can do is lead you to information where I gleaned what I understand. All right. There is a YouTuber. Her name is Erin Moffat. All right. And she does an exceptional job talking about the Kappa size, the Greek society, in which has chapters in most universities across the United States. And that is where they derive their talent from. A lot of them are in the sports industry. A lot of them are in the media industry. A lot of them are actors. But they pull from the same, they have the same Greek basis that most societies do, like the Bonesmen or the other secret societies out there, the Captain or the Mortar and Pestle or whatever they're called, the Mortar and Caps or whatever they're called. The
that's a pub.
Harvard and Yale and Princeton.
The Order of Nine was that one,
right? It's just another part of the
Skull and
13
Bones,
families.
All that.
Yes, Skull and Bones.
Yes. We don't actually know, though.
Right.
I mean, it might be that Harry just had exceedingly bad taste.
Yeah, but you say he had a blind date. She's famous. I mean, how's it a blind date?
She wasn't famous.
They don't know their
She wasn't a show. She was on a show that nobody ever watched. Had you even ever heard of Suits? Far less ever watched any of that crap. I only ever watched a clip of it about 3 months ago just because I was curious. And that was crap.
I couldn't watch it. I tried to watch it. I just couldn't watch it. It's rubbish.
Anyway,
Empire.
Now she does Disney voiceovers. And if you're the new CEO of Disney, because the last one quit, because presumably, I don't know, he was on too much of the adrenochrome or something, then, give her a job. She wants a voiceover, and Harry will doubtless ask you for a job at the next VIP bash. So there you go. Anyway, Chris, what's your take on all that? Or I'm not sure that there was anything to ever take on, actually.
Can I ask a question?
Sorry,
well,
Can I ask a question?
actually, I've just been having a look because I was sure I'd seen something about it. And have you noticed how they've gone dead quiet about all the Nixium stuff?
Nixium?
Oh don't you remember that thing, Jeffrey Epstein?
No. The Nixium, where basically Alison Mack got sent to prison for basically forever.
Oh yeah, that famous
for child sex trafficking and all of that, and how there were lots of high-profile people, and the heads of it were being taken in and stuff like this. Interesting. There are two very, very famous people that are who are purported to be part of this.
Who's that?
Luciferian sex cult.
Oh, yeah.
One is former First Lady of the United States and
Hillary
presidential
Clinton.
candidate Hillary Clinton.
No surprise there.
And another one is her friend who she advised about their future course.
Umar Abedin.
One Miss Meghan Markle.
Oh, Meghan Markle.
Really?
Which would explain why everything's gone completely silent about it, because the palace doesn't want would definitely not want that organization being looked into, as it's one of those organizations where you join and you're in and you can't ever leave or you're going to get killed.
That's a bit like the EU. Hotel California.
That's the Hotel California.
But Alison Mack, I don't know if people know. Basically, she was in Smallville. That was kind of her biggest acting role. As a two-bit actress like Megan, in for a TV thing, never actually doing any real films or anything that would put them as an A-lister. But they were involved.
She's not an A-lister. She was a C-lister.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, at best.
Both Alison Mack and Meghan Markle were both low grade cable TV actresses.
Yeah.
Alison Mack, Smallville, Meghan Markle, Suits, but this organisation has been linked in with. It's got federal indictments for sex trafficking and the like. And then when you consider that the IG report has the Clintons Foundation banged to rights for crimes against children, but you'll never hear that in the media, will you? Even though it's clear as day in Horowitz's IG report. And
if they link that to the monarchy, that could be pretty bad. That's probably why they're not reporting it. Because it just adds more weight, doesn't it?
Well, it's just extra weight, and it's going to completely throw their argument about Prince Andrew. It wasn't really anything big problem. She was a prostitute and she consented, even though, as I made clear on a previous show, you can't consent to sex work until you're 18, and she was under the age of 18, which means she was a victim of child sex trafficking because she can't consent, which means he had sex with a child prostitute.
But we saw him.
As simple as that.
Yeah, but we saw Andrew at Pizza Express. Conclusive proof, that, isn't it? Right? Pizza.
When he can't sweat,
Oh yeah, they can't. Even though he was sweating, the pictures of him would sweat under his arms.
Yeah, I don't know the truth of any of that. I've got no idea.
That was pretty pathetic.
All I know is that these people to me are irrelevant, completely irrelevant. And I get so. I mean, it's nice to have a bit of fun with you guys, yeah. But I get so fed up when I open up. I look at the news tabs. I look at the mainstream media, what they're saying on a daily basis, just to know what the other side, the enemy, the deep state, whatever, are talking about. And I get to the Express or the Mail, and it's enough to make you want to projectile vomit all over the bloody screen. All of these stories about Meghan bloody Markle, as if who gives a stuff? And all the rest of them, frankly. The only one that I've got any time for, really, is the Queen, frankly. Her son, I mean, Jesus, 10 years, and that's the end of the monarchy with that bloody complete tard. I mean, the best thing that can happen to that lot, I suppose, is that William makes it, basically because he's so incredibly dull.
That's what that's what I think they're looking at, because Britain needs, with all this upheaval, an upheaval of removing the monarchy at the same time would be a big. There's only so much we can do in one fell hit, and I think Britain, for stability, needs a monarchy just to carry on, but doesn't necessarily need to have any real power. More of a figurehead, because that's what people generally view the monarchy is, even if they're actually incorrect about that. So William maybe would be a very good person to be a figurehead monarch, doing all the nice and pretty stuff, and basically in reality not having any consequential role.
They're not really perceived as having power, though. I mean, they don't have any power over politics.
Well, actually, this is the thing. They have a lot more power than they even believe they have, because a lot of the powers they lost were taken by Tony Blair, but he didn't have the power, and they were removed. But they were constitutional amendments, and Parliament has no power to make a constitutional amendment without consent of the people. And the only way they can have consent of the people to make those constitutional amendments is to be clear with the people that that's what they intend to do. And it needs to be in a manifesto, or it needs to be by a referenda. You cannot just they do not have the power to rewrite the Constitution as politicians as they see fit, and to give themselves more power. They don't have that power. So Tony Blair did all of that and repealed loads of laws and stuff like that. He didn't have the power to do it. Therefore, he didn't do it.
What about the abolishing of the act of treason that he tried to do?
That's completely bogus. He did not have the power, because treason is a constitutional crime, because it is a crime against the Constitution. Treason is to subvert. You have subversion, which is subverting the Constitution, i.e., acting against the Constitution. And treason is a crime where you're actually acting against is a slightly different one, where you're actually committing a crime against the state, which is a constitutional crime. You cannot abolish a constitutional crime without making a constitutional amendment.
That's right.
So
that makes sense.
If you don't have the power to make a constitutional amendment, how can you abolish a constitutional crime? Was
it constitutional? Was it constitutional to take our guns away? I'm just thinking, because we could
it's a simple thing. It says in the Bill of Rights 1688-89, and the reason I say that is because there was a calendar change, so the years blur as to the year it was and what the year in present reckoning is. But the Bill of Rights makes it very clear that all Protestant men, and because of the time, that's why how it's written, all Protestant men have the duty to keep and bear arms, not the right, but the duty to keep and bear arms in defence of the realm, i.e., to defend and the realm is not the realm as in the monarch's area of rule. The realm in this situation would be the constitutional lands, i.e., because the monarch can act against the realm itself. So it would be the act against the country and its territories. So
what about old Charlie boy? Well, he wants to make it, instead of being defender of the faith, i.e. the Christian faith, he wants to be defender of faith, plural, i.e. any old faith.
Which is that
constitutional?
It's not, because they
make it up as they go along, don't they?
They make it up as they go along, because the monarch is the head of the Church of England.
It's like the Pope. He reckons that extraterrestrials can be regarded as Christians or something now, doesn't he? And all that. They just make it up as all of these people.
Exactly.
It's just a bunch of woke
stuff up.
Tosses.
And our biggest problem is our education system.
Yeah.
They intentionally removed the teaching of the Constitution from the syllabus in the UK in the 1950s. And the reason they did that is because if you don't, they could then push all sorts of information out to you. Because if you don't understand the Constitution, if you don't understand what it stands for and how important it is and where your rights come from, those rights are so easy to take away. Because if you don't know what your rights are and why you have certain rights, you're not going to fight for them. Hence why we lost our firearms rights. We didn't realize they were civic rights, constitutionally guaranteed rights, and if we don't understand that, then
he's back.
You're not going to fight for them, and you'd understand why you need those rights.
Yeah,
like in America, you're taught that the Second Amendment.
How many rights have we had taken away this week? How many rights? Rights have we had taken away this week?
Yeah, in America, you've actually got people talking about how, and even Trump is saying, look, some of the we have to measure what we are doing, because the doctors want us to do X, Y, and Z, but I have to measure that in regards to the Constitution, as I have to uphold the Constitution. And what the doctors are saying, the doctors may want X, Y, and Z, but if that doesn't marry with A, B, and C, that can't happen. We have to find a middle ground. And that's why this period of lockdown has to be minimal. He's actually talking constitutionally.
And the Democrats want to suspend the Constitution, don't they?
Yeah, they want him to enforce the Defense Production Act, which basically is I believe was written by FDR, and it basically means who FDR was a constitution abolitionist and a tyrant, and you're not going to get me to, he put more than one executive order a day on average for his entire presidency. He ruled purely by fiat, and actually a lot of the term limits for presidents actually come out of FDR.
What's that mean? He drove around in a Fiat.
So but then we've got people supporting Bernie who says that if they won't do what he says, if he were elected president, he would rule by fiat.
Why do you want to drive around in a Fiat?
Rule by fiat is basically means that he can rule without ruling by fiat means
without
by
authority.
In effect,
it's like fiat currency.
He will just
make up the rules as he goes along.
Yeah. Well, no, he will. Rule by executive order and completely cut Congress out of. Ruling by fiat means he cuts out the other branches of government and rules as a dictator.
Right. Cuts out the middleman, doesn't it? And
fiat ruling by fiat is, in layman's terms, being a dictator is the polite way of saying I'm going to be a dictator.
It sounds a bit like
dangerous,
doesn't it? And he probably had a fiat.
And FDR was completely like that. One of the chief progressive presidents that America has had, and his New Deal absolutely while the Depression happened and depression was a natural event, his New Deal it basically kept the Depression going for much longer than it needed to because
really
of let's actually be blunt. The progressive movement isn't progressivism. It's just a polite way of saying full-blown communism. Franklin D. Roosevelt was a communist.
Don't you think that having 59 genders is progressive, Chris? Right, hold on. Marcus.
Retarded, maybe.
99 now.
Marcus?
Yes, sir.
Are you still there? We just wondered if you'd come down with coronavirus. You'd had a flight from Wuhan.
I'm telling you, we had it back in September.
You had coronavirus back in September?
My mom had it in January.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been here for a lot longer
How
than
do you know?
saying. I'm telling you
How can
coronavirus was listed on our Lysol containers back in 1982. It's not something new. It's just
this is a form of coronavirus. It's a family of viruses. It's not just
true. Well, the flu, regular flu, is coronavirus, isn't it? It's a different type. No. This is
influenza, coronavirus. Neither one is curable. They're both viral infections, and they both act the same way. When your immune system is compromised, they will come in. Our bodies possess billions of viruses and bacteria all the time. You cannot live without them, and that is fact. It is when your immune system becomes compromised to the point where their RNA sequence is able to activate and therefore replicate. That's when we get sick. The disease or the virus has been around for millennia. It's just it took somebody putting A, B, and C together instead of me catching A, you catching B, and your mom catching C, and us all getting together. Somebody else, whether it's they mixed it all together, brought the people together, I don't know. It's a super virus, but it's no different than what we have been experiencing year after year after year. It's no different. They're just hyping it in the media. They're pushing it to facilitate whatever desires that the media has, whether it's gaining lust or lush off of our fear, or it's just keeping us in a state of anxiety. I don't know what they gain from it, but media is gaining something from it, whether it's viewership or money from pharmaceutical companies. They're gaining something from it.
They're selling copy because people have run out of loo paper.
Right.
But people have got newsprint all over their bottoms, which is, going to be the next thing, isn't it? Black bum. We've had the Black Death, and now we've had COVID-19, and the next thing is going to be black bum, and it's all because of the Daily Mail. Right. I was thinking that maybe we could carry on a bit longer.
A Billy bonus.
Well, sort of, yeah. But I've got to be quiet. I've got to be quiet, yeah, because I do, for domestic reasons. We're in quarantine here, yeah, and
the ball and chain.
My entire block, I think they're sussing out that I'm a Brexiteer as well, and
oh no.
You need a firearm then, don't you?
Yeah, I need a gun. But what we could do, we could carry on, but I just have to be a bit quiet here. So
get yourself a 3D printer, and you can print one.
This is the
they don't really work. They're one-use jobbies.
Well, that's all it needs, one use, isn't it?
But look,
trust me. If you need more than one round. Anybody who thinks you need one round from a pistol is really doesn't know what they're talking about.
That's probably why they're trying to get rid of AK-15s or AK-47s.
Hold on. Shh. I have to be quiet.
That's probably why they're trying to get rid of them.
No, you don't have to whisper. You don't have to whisper behind it. For crying out loud.
My wife's working. I don't need to keep quiet.
Look, I need to say something, because we're going to get cut off shortly from Wake Up UK. And I think John Lawrence is coming. No, he was on before me. Anyway, look, the bottom line is we're going to get cut off on Wake Up UK. And I want to say to the guys at Wake Up UK, God bless you. This is my last show on Wake Up UK for a little while, because the time slots don't work because of this corona whatnot thing, and everything getting really exciting. And, Trump's about to, expose the deep state and, put Hillary Clinton in a nice, wonderful orange jumpsuit, which she always looked good at oh God, jeez, it's getting late. It's all of that. It's all getting so exciting. And so I went, and I'm in quarantine. Yeah, have been guess what? You can tell, no? It's been about 10 days I've been in quarantine. I'm completely fucked. Yes. Anyway, this is my last late night show, because I'm now Monday to Saturday, 5 o'clock GMT, which is 6 p.m. CET, which is 1 p.m. EDT, Washington District Central Time or whatever. Mr. Trump, if you want to come in and tell us about when you're going to lock up that cow, and all that. So anyway, I'm not doing the 9 o'clock show anymore. I'm just Monday to Saturday at 5 for the GMT, that is, because for the simple reason that it was doing my head in. It was doing my head in. I'm having problems enough working out how to use Photoshop for the graphics, let alone anything else. But I want to say a big cheers to all the folks over at Wake Up UK, particularly Jason Tyler, who's a lovely bloke. My mate Jay, I really appreciate, sir. God bless you, doing some stuff with you, and want to, when we can work out a time slot that works, whatever. But at the moment, during this period of imminent black bum, when we're all going to die of Black Bum. I'm doing this kind of, this 5 o'clock slot, and as soon as we're dead in the next realm or whatever, I'll come back on Wake Up UK at the whatever slot. But anyway, I know that Jason's going to cut us off in a sec, but I think we should just carry on. Otherwise, chaps, on YouTube and Facebook. Sorry, Wake Up UK. Simpson. You've got Dave Simpson now. God bless him, Dave Honk Honk Simpson. And so there you go. But I want to say big cheers to everybody at Wake Up UK, and particularly to Jason, because it's been really good to do some stuff with him. And we've got Caroline there, Charles and Kaylee, Kent and Leslie, Mancunian, whatnot, and Phantom, and blah blah blah. Right, so God bless you, and I will catch you around the block, and who knows, maybe do some slots at Wake Up UK again in the future. But with this coronavirus whatnot thing, I had to choose a time slot. Please understand that suited my domestic situation with the missus, basically, yeah, and also with the neighbours, and so that's what I've had to do, and there you go. All right. Anyway, God bless you. God bless you. Right. You were saying, Jay. You were saying.
I was saying what?
I don't bloody know, mate.
What was I saying? Yeah, that was a long speech. I forgot what I was saying now.
So what?
Oh yeah. Wait. Hold on a second. Yeah, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Right. The public health in the UK, they downgraded the coronavirus from a high consequence infectious disease on 19th. Yeah. When did Boris announce lockdown? Was it 2 days ago or 3 days ago?
What is that? So hold on a sec. They've downgraded this from what? Black bum to black nipple?
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it was a high consequence infectious disease. Now it isn't. But that came on the 19th. And BBC haven't reported it. No one's reported it. And then the government says lockdown. So it's something that makes sense.
It does if you think about the deep state.
Oh yeah, if you think about deep state, yeah. I'm just all right. I'm just saying, for the public perception, that wouldn't make sense.
Exactly. Which means people are going to start investigating. Why are we being locked down when they're saying it's not as bad as they say it? It's not actually that bad. Maybe I need to do a bit of research. Maybe I need to investigate some of these independent journalists and what they're saying, because I'm not getting the truth from the main media. Because unlike Britain and Europe doesn't really have the same sort of system that America does, where we have a president that can send us a message straight to our homes, turning our TVs on and telling us certain information, and actually send messages straight through to our mobile phones on an emergency broadcast system.
Yeah, we don't have that. I got a message from the
I actually get messages through on my phone if a kid gets taken. In our area, if a kid gets taken, to be on the lookout, description of the vehicle, description of the people, and if you see it, you're actually effectively able to take the law into your own hands to stop that kid being taken out of the country. And we're quite close to the Mexican border, which is where they're all heading.
How long have you had that?
Oh, that's existed. That's called an Amber Alert. I've had that since I've been in America. It's straight on the phone.
Has it been used? It's shown up a lot more since Trump came into office.
Well, no, this has existed before, but this has happened anyway. But a lot of the people that you're going to get normally are things like
a fake bomb scare,
or dad hasn't got custody, they've been given visitation or a period, they've not brought the kid back at the time they're supposed to, they've got information that mum's picked up the kid from school, but mum's not supposed to pick the kid up from school.
It's like Neighbourhood Watch.
Yeah, well, it's that kind of thing for like with custody, and it's a big thing in California because I'd say 30 minutes and I can be over the border into Mexico.
Right.
From where I am.
I didn't know
it's that close. So, if we get something like that, they need to let people know so that, and actually, we're allowed in the situation, we're allowed to take law into our own hands to prevent that child being taken over the border.
See, we wouldn't have that because the UK is the UK and it's not a border. We wouldn't be told that someone's crossing the border.
Yeah, so
a good idea though. I mean, a good idea to actually have a text message when a child goes missing.
Yeah, child goes missing. Everyone goes. It's literally. Oh yeah, child's gone missing. This is a vehicle. Everyone goes out their houses to have a look.
You must get 100,000 messages a year or something.
No, you don't actually get that many. I think because we don't get everything. We get
a bit of it.
We don't get the stuff that Deep State's dealing with. We get the stuff that is just some kids being put in just some random guys put some kid in the back of a van. Let's find his van and make sure he doesn't get her away. That kind of stuff. And it came about because I think it came out in response to a child being kidnapped in like the 80s or 90s, and there were so many people that witnessed, and they were able to piece together that so many people had had an opportunity to intervene, but they didn't know what was going on, and had they got the alert, they would have been able to intervene. So they brought that about so that people can get involved. And hey, say I carry daily, so if I were to see, I'm at a petrol pump and I get a message through that a kid's being taken in my vicinity, and I look over and the vehicle's there, and you've got they're trying to fill up the vehicle so they can make the run to Tijuana. I can intervene and basically arrest take the gun out and citizen arrest that.
That's good. I didn't know that. That's good. I've got relatives in America, but they've never told me that.
Blimey.
Yeah. So.
Remember the Dirty Harry film, the first one?
Can I just?
That was about a paedophile, wasn't it?
Yeah. Go. Look at this. Look at this. Let me see if I can show you this.
70s.
Let me see. Can I show you that? Can you see that? I'm just.
If you share the screen, you might be able to see it.
You got a button there that says share screen.
Blimey! I want to show it on the vid. On the vid. How do I show this on the vid?
Well, hide my big box saying J. Carey on it.
No, but it's still. Oh, for crying out loud! How do I share that? It doesn't want to share it.
Yeah, if you do share screen, you can actually bring up what's on your screen.
I know.
He's got a lot of stuff on his screen.
I know.
I've got no. There's none of that. I just want to show this. Anyway, I've just got a ban. You can't post or comment for 24 hours. This is on Facebook. This is because you previously posted something that didn't follow our community standards, or else you might have said what you thought of Nick Bloody Clegg or something. Anyway, 24 hours ban. I don't know why.
Oh God, Clegg's back. Clegg's back in the office.
How we make decisions.
We're talking about Q stuff, and then suddenly you get a ban.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
What a surprise, eh? I mean, like last time we were talking about ritual abuse and we got cut off.
Yeah. How we make decisions. We use either technology or Nick Clegg's bottom. A review team to review anything that doesn't follow the standard. Yeah, anyway, there you go. Yeah, but
Nick Clegg's bottom, wasn't that used quite a lot by Cyril Smith?
Hey? Oh, hold on. Our standards. Oh, listen to this. Listen to this, people. Our standards on dangerous individuals and organisations. We don't allow symbols, praise, or support of dangerous individuals or organisations on Facebook. We define dangerous as things like terrorist activity, organised hate or violence. I mentioned TR, TR. TR.
What,
You
Jared
can't
Radio?
even.
Oh, right,
You
Tommy
can't
Robinson.
even talk about TR without
Johnny
getting
Robinson,
banned
yeah.
by Facebook. What a load of old toss.
What a load of wild wank. Especially when, you've got Antifa on there, on Facebook groups, and they're openly
Incredible.
promoting violence.
And yet, Gordon Brown, I suppose we can mention him. And TR, on the one hand, told us all about those rape and torture and murder gangs. Yeah, he told us about them. And Gordon Brown, on the other hand, his government told the police to ignore them. Yeah? So I'm sorry, Facebook, but you are fake!
You should know this, Ollie. It was too
And you support mass rape and mass torture and murder. That's what you support, Facebook. That's what you support.
All in the name of diversity.
No. I know why it's been done, and I've just the lights flicked on. Using eschatology. Okay. Why were Deep State allowing young women and boys to be sexually abused over the decades?
Well,
because it's also not just as are they doing it for their own individual rituals, it's effectively feeding the demonic energies that they support in their Luciferian cult. It suits their demonic master that these children are abused.
I tell you, it's just incredible, isn't it?
It's part of a global ritual sacrifice.
Unbelievable. So they class TR as a dangerous individual, and they actually discuss terrorist activity in the same clause as they do. I mean, it's disgusting. It's insulting. It insults the intelligence of anybody who has actually bothered to research this. And it's not the first time that this has happened to me, by the way. I received a ban for 7 days. Oh, this is 24 hours. That's nothing. I've received a 3-month video ban from Facebook before. I received a 7-day ban when I posted a picture of TR outside court on the day that he was sentenced last time, which is a whole other story, with just the subject that I put in there was 2 words, and it was just the sentence. I can't remember the sentence he got now, but it was just the sentence that he got. That was the entire description I gave it, with a picture of him outside the court, which was the same picture that was run by every MSM rag the next day. It was on the front cover of all the rags. I used the same picture and purely the sentence, and Facebook, for that, they gave me a week's ban. Facebook, you make me want to puke, frankly. You really are pathetic.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's like you're reporting MSM, you're re-reporting it, and they might take it down and call it terrorism. Yeah.
It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. You're not even allowed to discuss these people. And I'm not like a huge TR fanatic, personally. But on the other hand, I have listened to some of his stuff, and the fact is that he doesn't say stuff that's actually inaccurate. If you want to debate that, Facebook moderators, come on this show and debate it, and we'll do it civilly. But the fact is that you're faceless. And then you have people, and then you have people like Nick Clegg that work for you, who supported, eulogized Cyril Smith, and at Cyril Smith's funeral, Cyril Smith, a serial paedophile, fact. And Nick Clegg goes to his funeral and eulogizes the guy, despite the fact that it was well known, it was common knowledge that Cyril Smith had been a prolific paedophile over the course of decades. Well, is Nick Clegg banned? No. He's being paid millions by your organisation, and you are hypocritical little shits, frankly.
Nick Clegg probably was groomed by Cyril. Let's be fair. But Olly, I put something in the group chat in relation to the moderators in Facebook. A Jefferson quote.
Go on. The tree of liberty
about the tree of liberty
watered.
needs to be off-watered by the blood of tyrants.
With the blood of tyrants.
Yeah, with the blood of tyrants.
Yeah, Jefferson.
Are we? Do we not agree?
Yeah, yeah, we agree. Yeah.
We certainly do.
There's one question.
It's the only way they're going to. It's the only way. It's the only way they get stopped. Make sure that they fear for their lives.
I think we've lost Marcus now. I think we've lost Marcus. Bless him. I think Marcus has given up.
He may have needed to get something to eat. It's a bit later for him than it is for me.
He didn't use Zoom link, did he? He phoned off again.
No, he didn't. Yeah. Oh, blimey, I tell you what. It's incredible, isn't it? It's amazing. So if I close this message, I'm just wondering, if I close this message, which basically tells me that I'm cavorting with terrorists, then does that mean that I'm going to close off the show on Facebook? I don't know. But if I am, I'll see you on YouTube. youtube.com/Daily Chaos. I'm going to
does it mean you consent? Is that I don't think it does, actually.
Right.
I think you might still have
consent to nothing with these people. Oh, hold on. What would you like to do? Oh, because your post goes against our community standards on dangerous individuals and organisations, only people who manage Daily Brexit can see it. Accept decision. Accept decision. Fuck you. Aye. Unbelievable. Okay. I do not accept any decision from a tyrannical, fascist organisation like Facebook.
On a different note, have you seen the celebrities that are off adrenochrome at the moment? Like Ellen. Madonna's acting a bit weird, isn't she?
Oh, but actually, I saw something about Madonna. She started singing a song about fried fish.
In a bath.
Yeah, in a bath, yeah. But the thing is, when you look into a guy called Alfred Fish, he was a prolific child abuser, rapist, etc., who got fried in the electric chair.
See, it's all codes with these people.
Yeah. And it people don't necessarily, it's like the Q stuff. People say, oh, it's been proven to be fake. Who proved it to be fake? Oh, this media channel. Okay. Who was the one that released it and said it was fake? Okay, that was ABC. ABC, which is owned by Disney. Disney, where Bob Iger, the CEO that stood down, was regularly visiting Little St. James, Epstein's Island. And where were they doing runs ashore from the Disney cruises? Oh, that would be Little St. James. And
it's hidden in plain sight.
It's like, come on.
It's hidden in plain sight, but people can't see it. I want to know
how many kids went missing off of Disney cruises. You can't seem to find that information out. I wonder how many kids went missing off of Disney cruises. Because we all know where they would have gone.
Do you think
I'm sure they would have gone on?
Do you think Michael Jackson was a child abuser? Or do you think he was caught just someone who had a talent and he exposed it? He was getting too powerful.
Macaulay Culkin, who we don't know whether he says that actually Macaulay Culkin says that Hollywood is full of paedophiles. Yeah. But he's actually said that Michael Jackson knew about it.
There you go.
Well, and which, bear in mind that he was a child star, then you've got the feasibility there that Michael Jackson himself may have been abused. Now,
Yeah, it's not like he had a childhood, is it?
Well, exactly. So could it be that Michael Jackson actually, it's either Michael Jackson was abused and therefore abused others, or Michael Jackson was abused and set up his Neverland Ranch in order to ensure the childhood of of kids.
Well, yeah, it sounds,
and actually give them a sanctuary away from the clutches of the paedophiles. It's
Yeah.
It's going to be one of the two, isn't it?
it's just when you see someone that big, someone that famous, someone that we know he missed his childhood, but it just looks a bit weird when someone sets up a huge theme park in the back garden for disabled children.
But you've also, I know, and this is the thing. I don't know either way, but it could well be that he's psychologically damaged by this, that he's gone, no, I need to relive my childhood that I need to have my childhood that I never had, and I need to ensure that children have the childhood.
Yeah, that sounds more plausible, doesn't it? That sounds more plausible. It sounds like he lost his childhood and he wanted to actually just enjoy his childhood.
And the children, and he wanted to ensure that other children, he could try and protect other children from the same fate. It's either that, or it's a case of he was a muser, one of the two.
Yeah, I never did believe it, to be honest. I mean, even when the BBC covered it, that should have been proof enough. When the BBC put that much effort into covering it.
Exactly. Well, that's why I'm starting to doubt it, because the mainstream media have more or less said that he was a paedophile.
It's like they used him as a scapegoat again. It's like when they used Jimmy Savile, even though he was probably Jimmy Savile,
he had
used
a big
him as a scapegoat to cover the BBC, didn't they?
He had a big thing with Sony as well, and Sony is hardly an angelic organisation, is it? And he had a big thing. Do you remember? He did a song, and he was basically calling Sony phony. Oh, that was Michael Jackson. But no, sorry, that was George Michael. But Michael Jackson did it too. They both did. They both basically called out Sony for being a very nasty company for whatever reason. I don't know really the reason. They were talking about it being artist rights or something, I think. But
isn't Sony a Japanese company?
Yes.
I don't know. Is it still these days? I don't know. I know originally it was.
I think it originally was. It originally was, and the Japanese don't tend to let foreigners buy their businesses. Mm-hmm. It's about the one thing anti-free market the Japanese tend to do, and it's prevent foreigners buying their stuff.
Is Nintendo, is that also Japanese? Or is it Chinese? Nintendo. I can't remember if it's Japanese.
I don't know, because usually with Japanese it's two phonetic. It's usually 2 letters or 3 letters that make up the thing. But
Nintendo,
Nintendo is do is way. Do is play. I think it's going to be Japanese because it'll be
Nintendo.
Go because the do will be game.
Right.
Or play.
So has anything come out of China? Anything actual, original?
China, I think, to be fair, I think most of the things that's come out of China are stolen technologies. They're very good at stealing.
Yeah, it's plagiarism, isn't it? I mean, they pick something that we've all spent millions and millions on research and development. Yeah. Like Daewoo recently took them to court, didn't they? Or took someone in China to court for copying the Daewoo brand. See the letter, even with the brand. And they went to China to fight it, and they lost.
Yeah, because you never win in China.
Exactly. So there's no patent rules, so they're just stealing basically everything that is good.
That's right.
Taking out the quality control and then just plagiarizing it.
MAC addresses, like a MAC address can be geolocated.
Hold on a sec. You better explain what a MAC address is, mate, Chris.
Okay, a MAC address is basically every device that accesses the internet, the actual hardware, it has a MAC address, and there's supposed to be
it's
one
MAC address. It's a unique identifier.
Yeah, like a phone.
Yeah, it's a unique identifier. So this has one MAC address. My computer has the modem that connects to the broadband has one MAC address, and that could be geolocated. The problem comes is that China doesn't actually make anything unique, and when it copies these devices, it copies the MAC address. So actually in China there is actually two MAC addresses.
So you're saying they can have duplicate addresses in the west and the east?
Yeah, there are two MAC addresses. So when you come to geolocating and you can trace where that MAC address is, if you find it in China, generally disregard it and look for where the other one is. And that's if you're looking for someone and know their MAC address, look for the one that's not in China. Problem comes when the Chinese move over the borders and stuff, but unless you're super rich in China, you're not going anywhere.
I didn't know they clone MAC addresses. Yeah, that's not a great thing, that, because a lot of smart TVs use MAC addresses and for IPTV, for example.
Exactly. But
the bottom line though is that China, I mean, Huawei is a good example. All that tech was basically stolen from the West. All of the ideas behind it, at least. I'm not saying that the people that work for Huawei aren't bright people, but they're a little bit like plagiarist, PhD students. They're very, very bright, but the fact is they steal other people's theses or whatever, and then they present it as their own and sell it. And we in the West, muggins, people like Boris actually, and the Tory party, which is a recipient of Huawei money. Huawei is a Tory donor. We buy their kit instead of producing it ourselves, having originally, produced all this kind of stuff. In the case of the UK, it was Marconi, Motorola, or whatever. Marconi was Italian, actually, wasn't he? But Motorola
Leyland,
and so on and so forth. Yeah, exactly. British Leyland, and so it's just incredible, isn't it? It's incredible. And then it's like, oh, we can't do that ourselves. We need to buy it from the Chinese. Rubbish. Absolutely. I just don't buy it.
There's a go between those, isn't there, Ollie? There's apparently, I mean, I'm just going to allegedly. Israel steals America's technology and sells it to China. It's like the go-between. Israel's the go-between.
Really?
So they're not blamed for stealing it. China gets
it. Actually, I'd say the biggest problem we have is that is not stuff like that. I'd say the biggest problem is Chinese students, because a lot of the Chinese, because China has national service, a lot of these Chinese students are actually enlisted at the time that they're going over and studying. So, and China is not one of these nice open places that you actually need permission to study overseas. So do we really think that a lot of these Chinese students have not got a bit of a quid pro quo situation going with the government? Yes, you can go overseas and study, but you're going to go study here. Okay, you're studying this, so we want you to get information on this.
They could even get a job in the places, couldn't they? The places to work in, like the
exactly. There's a lot of, so they're, not to have a go at Chinese students. They, whether they are able to do things or whether they actually are just using it, saying yes, we'll do that, and then don't actually do it. But there will be people that will do this on behalf of the government. And like, we've got a big problem in America, actually in California. One of my state senators, vast majority of her staff are Chinese nationals. They're not even US citizens. And they were actually Chinese spies. They were actually full-blown spies. And she goes, oh no, they're not. And it's like, when the intelligence agencies are telling her they're spies, she's just coming to their defense. And then, but You can't call it the China virus or the Wuhan virus, or you can't say that it comes. I'm sorry, Wuhan is one of 32. The Wuhan Institute of Virology is one of 32 biological research facilities that does work on viruses, that is state owned and has links to and is doing this research into creating and modifying viruses. One of 32 in the world. Yeah, it has having all the. Yeah, suddenly a new virus comes out in Wuhan. Really? And we're supposed to believe it's not made in a lab? And the media says it's not made in a lab, or there's evidence that it's not made. No. This is purely organic. This is completely. This has not got any signature that it's been artificially made. It's like I'm sorry. Are you really trying to sell sand to an Arab here? I'm sorry. It's that's what they're trying to do. It's blatantly obvious for anyone with an IQ above 100.
And does George Soros have a stake in this Wuhan?
I don't know about that, but I know that this is one of 32 research facilities that does this, and they work on coronaviruses, and that is a matter of record.
It's like Porton Down, isn't it, when the Scripples got poisoned?
Oh yeah. Porton Down. I used to work for the organisation that owns Porton Down. Okay, I have no doubt in my mind that Porton Down was the source for that.
How could it not be? You know, it was round the corner. It was in
I'm sorry, 10 miles down 15 miles down the road, someone gets infected with something, and they try and say, "Oh, it's only made in Russia." Well, no, it's been made in Iran. It's been made in the UK. What do you think Porton does? Work with
biological
genetically engineered bunny rabbits?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's the Porton Down is the chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear research facility for the British military, where they actually test these things and test equipment. They test the equipment and subject volunteer members of the British military to
test it.
Biological, chemical, and radiological weapons.
They could, you know what they could do? They could get some of these kids that go around licking toilet seats. They'd be happy.
Yeah, they could, for money.
Yeah, just offer them, I don't know, a bag of what is it, whiz?
Well, let's be fair. Most of these people who work for who are part of groups like Antifa and Hope Not Hate and Unite Against Fascism, they're unemployable anyway because they're of subhuman intelligence.
Extinction Rebellion.
And they're covered. The way they look, no one's actually, with all their piercings and
they're not really
and facial tattoos, no one's going to actually employ them. So let's actually give them employment and have them be guinea pigs.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay them for it.
They gave that away, didn't they, when they made a video saying George Soros hasn't paid us?
Yeah, they actually stopped. Antifa has stopped doing stuff since they've stopped being paid.
Soros, where's our money? That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much evidence there is to support all this, and yet nobody sees it.
Well, no. This is the thing. People are as I was saying on the earlier show. People are starting to see it. People are starting to see it. Even liberals are starting to wake up. The news is not the news.
Do you think that's not in part because Pelosi tried to stop them getting $1,000 a month?
No. It was actually $1,200, and if you
$500 for the kids on it.
$1,200 per person and $500 for the actually $600 for each kid because it was half of the kids. So me and my wife were due to get $2,400.
And then Pelosi stops it. That's going to really, because liberals love money. They're not in that sense.
It's gone through now, hasn't it? It's gone through after all.
I want to make. it's been approved by the Senate. I don't know if the president's signed off, and I'd want to I want to know what's actually in that is this thing that's actually being put forward, and what the president actually signs up to, because he can do a pen statement and negate a lot of what's in there, but he can't do something you can do in California.
The stimulus package, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the stimulus package in California.
What's that? You have to stimulate Nancy
The governor
Pelosi.
is able to do something called line veto, where he can actually, the governor can go, well, you passed the Assembly and the Senate have passed this, and it's come to my desk, and I'm going to pass this bill, but I'm going to put lines through this bit, and this bit is I'm not passing.
Can he put any amendments to it himself?
I'll tell you what, that George Soros
Trump can
looks
amend,
as though he's just been passed.
Trump can amend by pen statements, but he can't line veto. Line veto was done by Reagan, but was deemed unconstitutional. So, but pen statements are still lawful. So he can actually say, he could actually write, if he wants to actually write at the bottom, he could write loads of stuff at the end of the bill and say, I'm not going to have this, and 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 I'm not going to have this, but everything else is fine.
And Pelosi tried to sneak in a Green Deal with it, didn't she?
Well,
for $1 trillion.
Yeah, that was what she was trying to put in Green Deal.
More than that.
She was trying to put in. At one point, she tried to put in.
She tried to make it.
Federal funding for Planned Parenthood. He's tried to basically put pork barrel legislation. So.
Put priority on foreign people over actual American workers.
Yeah, well, the pork barrel legislation actually was stuff. She actually tried to put stuff in for her own funding for projects in her own constituency.
Gosh,
she tried to make
millions and millions of dollars for projects in her own constituency into it, and all this kind of stuff.
I've got no control.
All sorts of. Basically,
do you think it's desperation?
Partly, but Charlie Kirk made a very valid point.
Charlie Kirk was a turning point.
And
is it desperation? I mean, is this these ridiculous moves that are just completely exposing them, like putting Biden, who can't even put a sentence together anymore? I mean, is it all just?
You know what? I'm just going to turn the fader down and have a chat with you. Actually, you know, I'm going to go. I'm going to go and look at my bog roll stash. I'll be back in a bit. I'm going to go and look at my toilet paper, all of it. I've got hundreds of rolls, which which I've been stockpiling for months. Now I'm going to sell them for about, I don't know, worth more than the average stock. I don't know. Anyway, I'll turn them back up. I'm going to go and admire my toilet paper stocks, and maybe come back with a beer or something. I don't know. But there you go. Because I couldn't get a word in edgeways anyway, so, I mean, whose show do they think it is? What a couple of bastards, do you know what I mean?
Haven't you learned that yet?
Bugger plutocracy, Ollie, come on.
Bugger plutocracy. You know what? Okay, I was just going to say, that Pelosi, she looks like she could do with some stimulus. And that what's his name? Soros. He looks like he's been passed. Anyway, I'll be back. But I did want to say, just briefly, that one of the things that she tried to put, or the Democrats wanted to put in that bill, in that, Trump's bailout of the United States people, $2,000 per person and all that, very American, eh? I mean, you get a lot of Big Macs for that. The whole deal with that, the Democrats were trying to put in, they were trying to make it that anybody could go and take and vote for anybody down at the polling station. That basically anybody could go and vote for anybody, which is just, that is such a socialist stance on voting, isn't it? As opposed to actually going yourself and voting at the polling station and coming back, which is the old-fashioned, frankly, yes, with small c, conservative way of voting, a sensible way of voting, yeah? One person, one vote. Instead of that, it's like you could have, some whoever knows from the local Marxist society could just go and vote for anybody. Doesn't have to present any ID to prove who he or she is and all the rest of it. Absolute idiocy. And just
that's what's happened in California already.
And it already happens in California, Chris. That please explain better than I just managed to do what lunacy that is.
Okay, well, what we have here is a big problem. There is no requirement to show ID to get a ballot.
And soon to get a driving license as well.
Well, no. You need to show ID to get the driving license.
Even they're giving it to illegals, aren't they? That's what they're trying to.
Oh no. There's two different driving licenses. You have the real ID and the California, the standard California driving license. Real ID has the information gets passed to the federal government. The California driving license, it doesn't. And the California driving license that isn't a real ID has federal limits apply, and you can't do certain things. Like you can't travel on it. You can't. There's certain restrictions, and one of those restrictions is you can't vote. I have a real ID, but I still can't vote because I'm not American.
Aren't they trying to change that law? Aren't they trying to change that so you can vote?
Well, yeah, this is the thing. I don't think I will get the legal immigrants like me will get the vote anyway. I think it'll just be illegals. I know it's hilarious, but basically mine has a gold bear with a star in it because the bear is the state animal of California. It's on our flag, and then there's a star, a 5-point star in the middle of it. So that says to everyone that's a real ID. Now, showing basically you can register and vote on the same day. You have to give them details, but you don't have to prove the details.
So you could just give them like erroneous details.
Exactly. And they say, and it gets put down as a provisional ballot and then checked against, but officially, yeah. But we've had a big problem with a thing called motor voter, where people who've applied for the California driving license or California ID have not, who are not supposed to be put on the voting register, and people who are not eligible to be put on the voting register have been put on the voting register. And there's big difference in the number of how many people are on the list. People have challenged them. California's refusing to remove people from the voting rolls, even though there's evidence that there's people on the rolls that are not supposed to be on there.
Is that why Biden got like a majority, even though they found out that like 1,100 people?
Actually, no. Dead? Bernie won California.
Weren't there 1,100 people who were dead?
Yeah, but Clinton got over 3 million extra votes in California, and there's about 3 million extra voters on the voter rolls.
It's like
seriously, there's about 3.5 million people on the California voter rolls who are not real voters.
It's like that episode of Simpsons, isn't it? Sideshow Bob, when he tries to win the election.
It's completely corrupt, and they also have a thing called ballot harvesting, which is completely to put it into a UK concept. Okay, I don't know, Jay, if you've been involved in election campaigns, but basically, you know how you're not supposed to collect people's ballots for them.
Mm.
You know how you're not supposed to collect people do their votes. You're not supposed to help them with their votes, and you're not supposed to collect them for them.
Yeah, you're not supposed to coerce them.
They're supposed to, even the postal votes, they're supposed to go in the they go in the post and stuff like that. And people will maybe try and give you the ballot paper, their vote in the envelope, and you're just not supposed to touch them as a campaigner. But we know that a certain party in the UK does, but it's actually illegal. Okay. in California, that's been legalized. That's called ballot harvesting. And what that means is people, when you do it as an organized thing, people go round knocking on people's doors. Oh, have you got your ballot ready? I will take it for you. Oh, no, no. Seriously, they take it. But the thing is, we register in. So when you register to vote, it actually shows your party preference on the register. Okay, so it shows whether you're registered Democrat, whether you're registered Libertarian, whether you're registered Republican, whether you're registered American Independent, whether you're registered Green. It actually shows that, or whether it says no preference. So
you already know
what
who
happens is they know they have a they don't know, but they've got a good idea based on how you have voted in the past. Now, if you're someone that's been registered for 4 previous elections as Republican, it's a pretty good shot you're going to be voting Republican. So if the Democrats send people round to ballot harvest, collecting people's ballots, I will take him in for you. We've got this official thing. We're allowed to do this from the county.
Mm.
But you're effectively a Democrat Party operative.
Well, yeah, that's a bit.
You've got a list, and you know, oh, these people have voted Republican for the past 4 elections. They're likely to do that. So what we'll do, we'll collect these ballots and all these people on our list before we hand them in to the county. What we're going to do is we're going to throw all these ones in the bin, and they're not even going to get there.
It's not even there.
But that is it. But this is the thing: they're allowed to go and collect them. That's legal, and she was trying to put that as federally legalize it, where in most states, and to be blunt, in most places that are not banana republics, ballot harvesting is illegal.
Yeah, it must be a nightmare in the US. You've got a whole year election process.
No.
We have 6 weeks, do we? In the UK, we have 6 weeks.
No, the nightmare is being in a American politics class as one of the few conservative-minded people in California.
Full of Bernie supporters.
When you're having with a bunch of Bernie bros, yeah, and you're having to talk about topical issues, and you're the lone voice, basically calling out their stupidity.
Well, we had that with Brexit,
but
didn't we?
Exactly. But we're having to talk that. I'm having to say that in a very polite and well-mannered thing, because I have to be very, very careful about what I say, because I'm on my college has a social justice college, and therefore I have to be respectful of these things. I can't even use the word illegal alien.
No, you can't, because alien.
I can't refer to them as illegal aliens. I have to call them undocumented immigrants. It's all stuff like that. So
ridiculous.
When I'm in the class, so I'm the lone voice talking about these things, which is why it's even more beautiful that I got an A in a paper that basically called the Democratic Party a bunch of racists, but actually did it in an academic manner that was with evidence. And actually, I even managed to put in evidence, I called out Planned Parenthood as an organization of genocide.
But they actually took that as a relevant piece of information, even with facts, because normally they don't even use that.
Well, this is the thing. I put so much evidence in there. My paper was so evidence heavy.
It couldn't be refuted.
Yeah. Because I even put about Margaret Sanger going to Klan rallies to get people to support her position and her points about how she didn't actually believe in abortion, but she wanted sterilization of inferior peoples. And she was saying this at Klan rallies.
I don't know. It's.
And I actually used the UN declaration, the UN. Because they love the UN, so I actually use the UN's bit on the prosecution and Prevention of Genocide to prove that what Planned Parenthood had been by design genocide, and actually saying that one of the progressive icons of theirs, Margaret Sanger, could, because it came about while she was still alive, she could have been prosecuted and should have been prosecuted under international law for genocide. And it's so great that that's now actually going to be an example piece for the course going forward of how to write an essay in California.
I'm trying to work out how to use Zoom. Oh, look at that. I've just joined the Zoom meeting.
Well, you should join the meeting. We're waiting for you to talk.
Yeah.
We're keeping it. We're keeping the seat warm for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go outside and have a smoke. Shh. But I've got Zoom on the phone now, so
so you can go out and have a smoke while you're.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent.
And continue to talk while you're out there.
Fantastic, eh? Technology these days.
Blue paper. Stop.
That was another thing Pelosi tried to put him on it, Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, she wanted federal funding for it, which has been outlawed by this president.
See, the thing people don't ask about that or even question, all these body parts, they're even killing babies when they come out of the womb, if they decide that it's going to affect the mother. They don't say what happens to the parts.
Well, yeah, actually, there was an undercover journalist, and in San Francisco, they're trying to prosecute him for defamation, even though everything's true. And he's got them on video saying stuff where they're actually selling body parts.
Was that Project Veritas?
Yeah. So they're trying to send him to prison in San Francisco.
They don't like truth tellers. You know what else they didn't do? Assange. They didn't let him out of prison, even though they let Harvey Weinstein out when a few prisoners got COVID. They wouldn't let Assange out, even though some of the prisoners in his prison have got it as well.
Yeah, I don't know what's really happening with Assange.
Do you think he's a deep state actor, or do you think he's actually being persecuted?
Well, I don't. As someone who used to work in intelligence, and having seen what the result of some of his leaks have been, in actually directly attributed to the death of people, of intelligence sources.
So you would say he's on the level then? He's just
I'm saying that he was irresponsible. He was highly irresponsible. He knew that the information that he put out was highly classified and would get people killed. There's a reason why, not everything, but because obviously a lot of stuff is declassified when it suits them, and the classifications increased when it suits them. But the basic reason for classifying information is to protect
national interest.
Well, not just the national interest, but to protect sources, so that we can continue to get the information, whether that be a technological source or whether that be a human source. So when you start, there is information that can only be got from one source. Now, if you impact on that one source, you don't get that intelligence anymore. Now, that one source can be someone being very brave and being in a terrorist cell and being a human intelligence source because they want out, but staying in the cell and giving intelligence based on what's happening in that cell. Now,
so what kind of people?
If information's then getting out, if that information is then released, it becomes very clear to that cell that they've got a source that where that information has only been possibly obtained from one particular area, and they will know it could be even from a conversation from the head of that cell to one other person. Now, if that information is then released and they know that there's only been 2 people that know what goes on, and the guy that finds out that that information's been released knows that he didn't tell anyone, it's quite obvious the other guy is, and that guy then meets a sticky end. So that's why a lot of information, the vast majority of intelligence, is classified at certain levels, because especially when you start talking about top secret information, people die. And that's not an exaggeration. People are actually executed because of these things. And Assange didn't give to be blunt, he didn't give a flying about that.
I think I'll pass the watershed, you can say.
I know, but we still want to make sure that Ollie doesn't get binned off for foul language. So, but yeah,
demonetized.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't. I doubt he's monetized.
I think
but this is the thing. Assange didn't care about people dying.
He just cared about having a scoop. Is that what it is?
Yeah, exactly. And while it's important, the information he's released is important.
Especially in the case of the Hillary Clinton emails.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the stuff that he's released is important.
And the NSA's secret programs.
I know, but the issue actually is that this information should
that's working.
Have been released should have been sanitized.
We're busy.
Redacted.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear this.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent! I'm in the garden now. I'm having a crafty smoke.
See, it's a shame you're on lockdown, isn't it? You could go anywhere you want now. You could go to the beach and run the show.
Oh, mate, that'd be awesome. But I can't. And oh yeah, I've come outside for a crafty smoke. But you can't get me any more bans. I've already had a 24-hour ban from Facebook.
Yeah, that's why I mouthed it rather than saying it.
Hold on a sec. I pressed some setting. I don't know how to change that now. I need to change something so that.
Yeah, you've gone back to your view only.
Oh no! How do I? Oh no! I don't know how to do that on the.
No, what's happened?
Welcome to quarantine.
Click gallery view on your Zoom.
Oh no! I've never used Zoom on this.
Top right, it says gallery view. I'm not sure about the phone, but it should say gallery view somewhere.
Oh, blimey. Hold on. Oh, no. Carry on. You were saying something much more interesting, Boozy. Carry on.
No, we're talking about Assange and whether he's whether he's leaking ethical.
Yeah. No, that I've got a query there. You're saying that Weinstein has been let out.
Do we have to see your ear when you're doing that?
Jay. Oh, sorry. Nice ear there. No, you.
Oh no, I said Assange wouldn't, but they wouldn't let him out, even though prisoners in Belmarsh is in have contracted COVID-19. So, but they let Weinstein out and even moved him to the Canadian border. So it's obviously, why would they not let him out? Do they want him to catch it? Maybe they want him to catch it.
They haven't let anybody out on Rikers, have they? Rikers Island yet? I know that was another thing. That AOC, Cortez girl, barmaid, she wanted to add into that deal that $2 trillion per American citizen or whatever it is, to add a clause that they let out all the over 70s or something at Rikers Island, which would have meant that Weinstein would have got out too.
Yeah, exactly. That's a bit suspicious considering he's only sentenced 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but that hasn't actually happened, has it?
Well, what I've heard is he's being moved to the Canadian border. I'm not sure if he has yet. I think he's in a maximum security hospital at the moment. Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard, anyway. Oh, by the way, news: Denmark and Norway closes borders for everyone but asylum seekers. What is that then?
What?
Closing the borders, but for everyone except asylum seekers. How's that closing the borders at all? Does that mean Norwegians in Denmark can't get out?
Well, if you're saying that there's COVID-19 in Belmarsh, it's probably because they're not washing their hands. Because but we all know about the wash habits of some of the terrorist fraternity, the washing habits of some of the terrorist fraternity, don't we? Including Sadiq Khan's best mate, who's in there, who he regularly visits.
1, 2, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2,
yep.
testing.
We can hear you, Ollie. Yep, we got you.
Just checking. All right.
Let's see.
This is cool. I like this.
Oh yeah, apparently Greta Thunberg says she may have to isolate because she's got coronavirus. And her father, isolating with her father after displaying symptoms. I don't think Greta Thunberg's got it. How dare you?
No, I think it's. Well, I don't agree with what she's saying. I pity the girl.
Yeah, we all pity the girl, yeah.
Because it's quite clear that her family and a lot of other people are abusing this girl's autism and her to basically get her head up, and they're
doing what the Germans did. They're doing what the Germans did, using a pigtailed young girl to push their agenda.
Yeah, but it's really bad what they're doing. My nephew, one of my nephews, has autism, and what they're doing to her. I just imagine what people doing that to him, and trying to get him all, because he's a lot more emotional. Because he has trouble dealing with the situations that a lot of people can deal with.
It's cruel. It's cruel, basically. Really, it's cruel.
I would not say that it's going too far to say that effectively she's being tortured.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, because
it's a psychological form of torture that they're doing.
The reason they use her in the first place is because you're not going to criticize it, because then you get called a bigot and all. Oh.
Yeah, you can't criticize a disabled little girl, can you?
We're getting all our information these days from kids. That other kid who turned up to oppose Greta. I think that's been set up as well. One opposing, one for. Pick one, it's saying, but why are you not picking scientists and people who actually know about it?
Well, it's like child abuse, isn't it?
It is child abuse, and the parents have got no. They were in Antifa, weren't they? They didn't have the t-shirts on, the Antifa t-shirts. They support anarchy, but they're using her, and they're getting rich doing it, aren't they? It's sick. Parents can be like that, but I've met people like that, and even though it's disgusting, there's not really much you can do about it. They have to realise it for themselves. Jacksons, they were sold, weren't they? Parents sold them, basically. Jackson 5 sold them into the music business. Who cares about childhood? We're millionaires.
I've got a really itchy nose here. I might have to scratch my nose.
Well, go ahead. We can see you.
Oh.
Nothing wrong with scratching your nose. Is that because you've just washed your hands? You don't want to touch yourself. You might.
I don't want to, itch my nose on camera. But I've got a really itchy nose. I could do with giving it a good.
Itch it as long as you don't pick it. You're okay. You won't be mainstream news tomorrow. Ollie picks his nose. Fascist.
No, not my nose. My ear. Yeah, my ear.
Oh, you said your nose. All right.
I get my organs confused. It's late, yeah. It's late. It's another hour behind. Oh, blimey. These earbud things. Oh, dear. Shh.
They're painful, aren't they? I used to wear earbuds, but they're really painful after a while.
A bit. Yeah.
I wear one at work. Usually just the one, because I work boring security. There's nothing going on, and I need something to keep me awake. So I listen to podcasts in my ear.
Yeah,
So,
security.
and because it's security, so I have my woolly hat underneath my hard hat, and my woolly hat goes over my ears, so that I have my earbud underneath, so no one can see that I'm listening. I'm not just I'm listening to something in my ear. But
Lauren
all right,
Post.
Boosie. What's 5G about? Like Wuhan's 5G testbed. The virus came out. What's that about?
To be honest, I've not really looked into 5G too much. That's for me. I've been looking into other stuff, and to be blunt, I'm also studying, and in general, there's so much stuff going on. It's kind of pick and choose what you're dealing with.
Well, I'll cover this one then. It's 5G. Even though they call it 5G, it's 60 gigahertz. It's the same for frequency that they use in like airport scanners, and the military use it to clear crowds. If you get the fire at crowds, if you get this burning feeling all over the skin, they've got an urge to run away, and they're putting it on the lampposts at millimeter waveband lengths and taking trees down because trees affect it. But it's not so much it's the frequency. The frequency affects oxygen molecules apparently. Like 3G affects water molecules in the body. If you put a plant next to a router, a Wi-Fi router, and one on the window ledge, and water each one each day, which one dies first? It's the one next to the router. But why? Not because it's not getting enough sunlight, because it's in the same place. It's because it's frequency. Frequency affects us, but it doesn't affect us as much. I mean, if insects, for example, get near 5G, they're dead, gone. Whereas we get near 5G, it affects our oxygen over time. And it kind of lines up with the coronavirus, doesn't it? Because it's supposed to destroy your respiratory system. So, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking e-cigs. Because e-cigs are supposed to give you that condition called popcorn lung.
Yeah, if you do it exceeded, if you use them to excess, and it's
popcorn.
Popcorn lung, yes.
Yeah.
If you breathe them in instead of eating them.
And it can't be.
Down the wrong way.
They call it popcorn lung because it used to happen in popcorn factory. The oils used to. They used to breathe the oils in, and it caused them to perforate the lungs and make holes. It's an incurable thing.
Nice.
And apparently, breathing in liquid ice or hot fog machine stuff into your lungs perforates your lungs over time. So it's all leading to the respiratory system, isn't it? The 5G.
But the thing with the vapes is it's all about. It's one of these things of excess as well. If you're doing it a little bit and not constantly at it every 5 seconds, then it's not. You're not going to get popcorn lung. It's one of those where if you're doing it to excess,
if you're doing what?
You're going to get popcorn lung.
Do you smoke, Boosie?
I don't. No,
right,
I do use a vape occasionally, but a zero nicotine vape, just purely for because it aids me to control my breathing. So when I get exceedingly stressed, rather than me popping some kind of pill or something to deal with the stress, one of the best things is to control your breathing. Easiest way of controlling it forces you to deep breaths, which kind of calms you down. It's that kind of
like putting your mouth like a paper bag kind of thing.
Effectively, yeah. But like you do in a paper bag, if you do that to excess, you can asphyxiate yourself. It's
basically about, it's controlling. It's
But
a lot of I still smoke, but I gave up for a year and I was on e-cigs, and my lungs did improve. I found myself getting tired really quick, just for going for a walk. I kept running out of breath, and I thought, well, it must be causing some kind of problem. So I stopped the e-cigs. Also because of the fact that they got so popular so quick, That's a red light for me, because something that gets popular really quick and not stopped by the tobacco companies. There's something else going on.
They're not safe, though, are they? They're not safe.
Well, no, they're not safe. If they cause popcorn lung, they're not safe, are they? But they're an alternative.
Comparative to cigarettes, they're safe, but that's about.
They won't cause cancer. Yeah, you won't get cancer. You'll get popcorn lung instead.
Well, actually, popcorn lung, I believe, is a form of COPD, which you can also get from smoking.
So, you get popcorn lung, but you don't get cancer. Is that it?
Yeah, basically, you're not going to get cancer from it. No.
Right.
I think it's about that kind of.
Like a new disease, isn't it? It's like a new disease that's uncurable. Just when they find the cure for cancer, which is like GC math.
Yeah, but the thing is, it already exists. It's just the part of the problem is a lot of people were trying to push because there was a lot of negative stuff about the e-cigarettes.
They banned them in India. When I went to India,
well, this is the thing. It also depends on what ones you're using. If you're using these stupid dual pod things as well, there's been a big problem with them because of knockoff liquids and stuff like that.
And that guy that guy who got killed for his thing exploded. Yeah.
But a lot of the ones when they've been exploding have been the knockoffs.
Chinese knockoffs.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of when you're talking about like the standard sub-ohm boxes, devices and stuff like that, so long as you're not overdoing it, you're not gonna get popcorn lung. And this is the thing.
I found, because you've got different flavors.
Yeah.
I found that if you have the fruit ones over a period of time, you lose the sense of taste. You lose your sense of taste. And in order to get it back, you have to have something a bit bitter, like blackjack flavor. And it's weird.
I never did it to the excess
that were quite nice.
Need that.
That
would happen. So yeah. And this is the thing. Everything can be bad for you if you do too much of it. And
well, yeah, true. That's it. It's exercising restraint. That's what it's about.
Yeah. It's like even going to the gym 7 times a week for a couple of hours each time can actually be bad for you because your body doesn't get time to heal, and you can actually damage yourself. Did
you hear what that Chinese doctor said? He said your heart only beats so many times in your lifetime, and if you're at the gym all the time, you're basically slowing down. You're reducing your lifespan.
Yeah, that was a bit of a flippant thing. It's not really based in science. That
too many beats. Too many beats. Just don't make sure you don't over-exercise.
Yeah,
which is good advice because some people can really take it to a different extreme. I had a friend who used to do it all the time. He couldn't sit down for 10 minutes. He'd watch a film or something. I'll try and watch a film with him, but he wouldn't pay attention to it. He'd keep moving his legs, and he'd have to get up and go for a run. And now he's got a heart problem, and he doesn't know how it happened because he was exercising all the time. I mean, I'm different. I don't exercise that much because I work from home. I'm a website designer, so I don't get out that much.
No,
but I'm not got heart problems.
You're one of those people who've realised in the last couple of weeks that you've actually always been in quarantine.
That's it. There's no difference to me. Yeah, I've got both my screens looking at me now. I've got people talking to me about my websites, and it's a daily thing for me. The only time I go out is when I go shopping. Mm-hmm. So quarantine's not really a difference for me. Mm-hmm. I just think I know so much, Ollie. I've been here for 5 years doing this.
Where? What do you mean?
In this location, this computer, for over 5 years, researching every single angle of this madness. Over time, 14 hours a day. That's what I used to work anyway. You start to remember things.
It's all a bit mad.
It is mad. It's even madder when you get to the parts that aren't widely available.
They can't reach.
You can't reach.
The bits that they can't reach.
Yeah, the bits that people don't want to believe. That bit. The bits that when they do believe, when you do find out.
That looks nice, doesn't it? Look at that. I've changed my backdrop. Got some nice horses going on.
Oh shit!
Oh,
See, we whip horses, but we don't see that in the news, do we?
There you go.
But then they report the elephants being whipped.
Yeah. Oh. What can I put on the backdrop that's copyright free? What about, I don't know, an old movie or something?
You're getting bored, Ollie.
I want a better. Yeah, I bet. I want a better backdrop, because this coronavirus statistics stuff. Yeah, this it's just nonsense. That, you know, it's just
it's numbers. It's just numbers based on nothing, and all different countries are reporting differently.
There you go. All that. It's all rubbish. It's all rubbish. It doesn't mean a thing, really. It does. Anyway,
it's like, why are we even paying attention to certain countries' figures when we know that those countries can't be trusted on figures anyway?
Yeah,
exactly like China. 5 days, zero confirmations. Yeah. That's because they kicked out all the Western media. Now nobody in China is everyone's afraid to actually say.
Or Iran, or Venezuela, or there's so many places that you wouldn't ever trust a news source that came out of that country, like a mainstream news source comes out of that country, because it's state controlled. So why are we trusting the statistics coming out of those countries?
Especially when we're not in good standing with them.
Well, to be blunt, I think what needs to happen is we need to just kind of the international community, even though we shouldn't really we should be doing things independently. I think on this matter, we should just go, you know what? China's inflicted this plague on us. They're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, but they won't say that, will they? Big companies just defend them.
What we're going to do is we're going to manufacture in our own countries. That's what the people want. People are willing to pay that money for us to do that. So guess what? We're all going to say no, and all the money that it's cost our country to fix the problem caused by them, we're going to renege on the debt that we have to this China. We're going to renege on it. So America owes them about $2 trillion. Well, this stimulus package just on itself is over $2 trillion. So this stimulus package they're talking about is a $2 trillion stimulus. That's $2 trillion straight away without anything else. So we don't owe America now doesn't owe China any money.
Is this $2 trillion? Is this $2 trillion of value money, or just $2 trillion a piece of paper?
It's $2 trillion a piece of paper. But let's be fair. What we're saying is, we apparently owe the U.S. government owes China $2 trillion. Well, if this stimulus package supposedly costs $2 trillion, well, we wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for China. So, okay, we'll wipe that off straight away. So if we just say we're not going to pay you now because you've made us incur costs we weren't going to incur. So we're wiping that off what we owe you.
That dog's going to piss on that sofa.
And if we all did that globally, because to be fair, China doesn't really owe anybody any money. Other countries owe China money. We could collapse their economy like that.
So why don't we?
Overnight, the whole country just goes, done.
Wouldn't that be the best thing to do? Get rid of that one-party state?
I mean, they tried to do that, though, by imposing sanctions, but because China controls its own money, they just basically devalue their own currency.
And but think about it this way. If you first off say we're not going to give you any money, full stop, the whole world, basically, who's been affected by this. Oh, and now we're also going to be manufacturing ourselves, and we're not going to be dealing
Kill
with
the tortoise
at all. So we're going to do no trade. We're not going to trade with you.
Tortoise.
And we're not going to owe you any. And any money we owe you isn't going to happen. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Getting a lift
not just the
on a
fact of
tortoise.
them devaluing their currency.
Go
They've
on.
got to do some
Take
form of
a
trade.
peek.
And if no one's going to trade with them, they're stuffed then, aren't they?
Yeah. That's what we need to do.
Ollie.
That's what we. Yes.
Ollie, have you read the comments? Because it sounds like we're just going off track here now. Any comments?
Yeah, but I can't because then I'm being noisy. I'm being really noisy. Look at the puppies. Enjoy the puppies.
Well, bring it up and I'll read it.
Hold it. Yeah, you read the comments. Do something useful for crying out loud. Okay.
I can't see the comments. I'm not on the stream.
Yeah, you can. We could go to the web page. Goodness sake. Sarah Bolan.
For
YouTube?
What for YouTube or?
Hey.
For YouTube or?
No, on YouTube. On YouTube. On YouTube. At this time of night, for some reason, they're useless. Earlier, they were prolific. Great comments. Now, crap.
There's 605 comments.
Facebook.com/Daily Brexit. Check out the comments there.
Yeah.
Amanda Thompson, how many neighbourhood domestics lately? 2 here today, and one of them has started up again.
What are we looking at now? How far are we going? Oh,
I'm just going to the most recent.
Oh, look at this. Oh, look at him. Oh, little cutie. Go on, piss on your master's leg.
A lot of people seem to be going off.
Kids are
right for going to bed.
That's right. They're all. Look, if you're about to go, I want to wish you the best. Good night. God bless you. And we won't be far behind, probably. Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
None of these are questions.
This is the experimental part of the show. The experimental part.
A lot of people are saying that they feel like they've been quarantined for most of their life.
Puppy heaven. Look at that. What a mongrel. What a nut.
Anyone got any questions? Any questions? I mean, I can't see any.
I've got a question. Why would you dress up your dog to look like
Kerry
that?
Swan, we can send a man into space by building rockets, but we can't. But we ain't got a cure for cancer. Okay.
Well, we have got a cure for cancer, but it's they've tried to shut down people who made it. Yeah. They put them in prison, didn't they, in France?
Yeah.
It's called GC. It's called GC math.
Oh, he's dreaming. Oh.
You can still get it if you look for it hard enough.
Look at him.
Ollie, there's a Facebook group called GC Math. Just go on there and you can buy some.
GC what?
Math, the cure for cancer.
Oh, really?
It was out in '85, I think. It came out in '85. But because they didn't go through the pharmaceutical company, they're trying to shut them down.
They've suppressed all that, haven't they? They've suppressed it.
Oh, well, exactly. If you think about it, a cure for cancer is what? About $600. I think it's.
Look at that.
Whereas chemotherapy is what, 150,000. You know, they're going to lose a lot of money. It's all about money at the end of the day, right?
Amanda Thompson, did we decide if Ollie had ADHD?
I didn't know we were even talking that one. I didn't know discussing.
Look at that.
I think he's just bored. You know, look. He's gone stir crazy.
Oh, hello. Hello.
You know what my wife likes to watch? She likes to watch mango worms being removed from dogs. You know, that's squeezing mango worms. I don't know what it is about women squeezing spots.
Please don't talk about that. My wife seems to like it too. Oh, you've got a spot. Let me squeeze it.
Right. Let me see if I can. Okay, we change that. From.
I've got Lauren Page says, "Do you know David Noakes? And don't buy off there. It's not GC Math."
Oh,
I know David Noakes. He was on
a microphone.
AV10, wasn't he?
Oh! Look what an ugly dog.
This is weird, man. We got dogs things going on in the background. Me and Boosie trying to talk about current affairs.
Yeah, we got that dog eating a strawberry, and the way its tongue was going around was like it was going at a clip.
Boosie.
Tell me I wasn't the only one to see that.
Yeah, Lauren Page is right about that. She says GC Math is produced by our liver. Yeah, it's something in our body that actually produces it. Something in our body. The GC Math, for people who don't produce it, it switches it on, the gene in the body that produces the cancer curing That's why they can't. That's why they're trying to shut it down, because they can't create it. They can't make any money from it.
What's that?
In our bodies.
What, the internet?
No, GC math.
Yeah. Geez, well,
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just don't trust Big Pharma because, I mean, for one thing, they're not talking about chloroquine, are they? But
nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. That's,
apart from the president. The president is.
Yeah, but that's go on.
Sorry.
No, go on,
They're talking about these drugs. They're not talking about these two drugs that they've said if they're used in combination. At the moment, I've got 100% chance of success, including one guy that was basically, he wasn't 11th hour. He was at 23:30 hours, and they gave him this. He went to sleep and woke up feeling better. They gave him some more, woke up, and he woke up feeling even better, and he was cured. Where that basically he'd already said goodbye to his family on Skype. That's how close he was.
And what about the other guy who he heard chloroquine, or apparently heard from Trump chloroquine, so he got the stuff that you use to clean your fish tank.
Yeah, the chloroquine phosphate, which he never said chloroquine phosphate, did it? He said chloroquine. He said chloroquine and or hydroxychloroquine. He never said
the malaria drug. He said the malaria drug, not the.
about that. And a doctor in Nevada who actually has asked Governor of Nevada for his license, his medical degree, and his license to practice medicine in Nevada.
Well, that's good news.
Because he said, by doing this, you're making a medical decision. Now, if you're not licensed to practice medicine, how are you being able to make a medical decision? So he's given him 48 hours to produce, or he's going to report him to the Nevada Medical Council as someone who's illegally practicing medicine, which actually, hilariously, has a custodial sentence attached to it if prosecuted, and does have a fine as well. It's like, yeah. So there's actually doctors that are having an issue with it, but yeah.
Yeah, apparently, and Amanda Thompson says she finds watching earwax removal is rather satisfying. So, go ahead, Ollie.
I'm just watching this stupid people compilation. Oh. People
it's the host that he's watching.
They are.
And then Kerry Swan's been dirty and saying that in response to Amanda saying Ollie's fiddling, Kerry saying, yeah, he's thinking of me.
That Kerry, she's outrageous. She's outrageous. You gotta watch her.
Is she the one who said that she'd give Ruddy a hand?
No, that was Charlotte.
Probably.
Or was that everyone, actually?
Charlotte has been banned tonight. She got banned. Yeah. She and Charlotte and Kerry are as bad as each other.
Do we have any comments on YouTube? I don't check that. Oh, I'm not checking it at the moment.
Let's have a look.
Just on Facebook.
I've just checked the Facebook.
No, they've all gone to sleep. They've all gone to sleep on
nobody
YouTube.
talks on Facebook. I don't get it.
Yeah, but this is the thing. The reason they're not talking about it is both chloroquine and the other one. I can't remember its name.
Begins with an A.
Both of them have been used for in excess of 50 years, so they're both now generics. Now, because they're both generics, it means anyone can produce them and no one actually can really make any real money out of them. That's,
there's your motive. There's your motive for it not being reported.
They can't really make. Though I do like the suggestion that they've made that if a vaccine can be created. Kerry's just said, "I'd only give Ollie a hand. No one else. How dare you?
How dare you?"
Right. I need some recommendations for YouTube. Tom Sear says, if we're going down the random YouTube video rabbit hole, this can lead anywhere. Been down it many times. It has to be clean and it has to be copyright free. So suggestions on a postcard, and I'll stick them in. Just a good search term. I don't know. I put, like, the last one I put in was stupid people compilation, which brought...
You get loads of them, don't you?
Yeah, which brought me with this. It normally just shows you, a shed load of voters queuing...
to vote Democrat or Labour.
He's about to have an accident, isn't he? He's going to have an accident. He's going to have an accident. He dropped his phone.
He lost his phone.
That wasn't even very funny.
That's the whole thing.
It wasn't very funny.
What they're now talking about is if there's people suggesting that if a company comes up with a vaccine that actually works and doesn't make people ill, to deal with this thing, the company that does it should be exempt from their corporation tax and it's ranging from 1 year to 10 years. So they won't actually have to pay tax. So they shouldn't have to pay taxes. Now, if anything's going to motivate Big Pharma to fix this,
it's going to be a lack of corporation tax.
Yeah. If you can say to them, you're not going to paying taxes. You're not going to have to pay taxes if you find a vaccine that doesn't make anybody ill and actually prevents people from getting this thing. It's going to be open season. They're going to work faster than they've ever worked before. Everyone's going to have overtime.
That's a lot of tax, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
for Big Pharma.
Yeah, but it's a big saving for them, So
that's what I mean. But it's a lack of tax to the economy.
Yeah, but to be blunt, do we actually need tax?
Well, what you mean taxation in the sense of usury, or that's interesting. It's not taxation.
I don't think we need. But to be blunt, a lot of the taxes are just literally do amount to nothing more than theft.
Yeah.
Well, they proved now, haven't they, that the taxes don't actually reflect the money that comes into government. Or the services received, that's it, don't reflect the taxes.
Yeah.
And we knew that anyway. We've known that for 10 years in the UK. Because how could they triple the debt, but then they've closed everything like libraries and leisure centres, even police stations, and laid off 19,000 police, and yet we're still paying more tax and we're still paying more council tax. There's no justification for it because nothing's they're not spending any money.
No.
I've heard that the Tories have like a little caddy, a hidden place for 72 billion that they've been hoarding from all these cuts they're making. Yeah, what are they keeping that for? As if I needed to ask her. It's a lot of money, 72 billion. You could at least sort out a deficit in the, or you could just tell everyone to bugger off, couldn't you? And say, I'm not going to pay any debt because who am I paying it to?
Yes. So the interesting thing I think with this China idea is if we look at it, China is probably the country that everyone owes the most amount of money to. So everyone reneging on their debts to China might actually solve a lot of the global debt crisis.
Yeah, or it might start a huge war.
I heard.
Well, no, the hilarious bit is Mexico's talking about wanting to build a wall to prevent people coming over from America and infecting them.
Yeah, and they're probably going to pay for it now, aren't they?
Yeah. Which that's the joke I actually said. If they're then Mexico's now talking about building their own wall, but they haven't got the money to build their own wall. So all it'll be is they'll probably contribute financially to the building of the American wall. Therefore, Trump then can go and say, "And I got Mexico to pay to build the wall."
Yeah, because nobody thought he said he was going to do that, didn't he? Mexico to pay for it.
And now,
laughed at him.
It could. Yeah, if that actually now happens because of this, it'll be hilarious. I also think they need to basically set all the money they've taken from El Chapo just plunge that into the building.
And get the Democrats to give back California.
Ends this weekend. A golden key check for £1,000 is yours free when you buy any three-piece suite from DFS this week. Suites like the Riviera with £200 off, £599.
That's a £1,000 golden key check.
The Chilton reduced to £180.
That's your free golden key check.
Order now at DFS, and the store manager signs and hands you your £1,000 check. Spend it on glorious golden key hotel accommodation in your choices from 200 superb hotels.
Ends this weekend at DFS, Darlydale, Measham and Droitwich.
It's supposed to be an advert.
DFS. That was DFS.
Join Robin of Sherwood
DFS,
on
the discount
Central.
furniture.
What's wrong?
Another company that went down.
What telly show is that? What telly show?
You've got to leave here.
Right, Robin of Sherwood.
There's an old score to settle in Robin of Sherwood.
What gave it away?
Adventure at 5:35 on Central.
Do you remember the music for it? Can you hum the
rock
theme
stars,
tune?
that's Derek and Diva and Dee Dee, are backstage all ready to go. Then Barbie arrives in her fabulous clothes. It's going to be a great show. In sparkling silver and dazzling pink, she steps out and takes a guitar. She sings like a dream. The fans cheer and scream. It's rock star Barbie, a real superstar.
Like Action Man. Like Action Man. We're always non-gendered, weren't we?
We go, you go, we all go, you go.
It's a car.
We all go Swidland. You go for value, you go for style. Swidland.
Is that a two-go?
You go for value, you go for style.
£3,000.
Swidland for trade-ins that make us all smile.
Swidland will give you a minimum of £1,100 part exchange.
Yeah, you go and then
your
you stop,
car.
don't you?
Speak to new Yugo 55 executive. Come on, follow the box of Swidland Motors.
You can get one of them in Leicester.
Cherry Pepsi, now my life is sweet. Sweet taste of success, I'm on top of the beat. Taste the good life, baby.
You see the truth advert for that. It's Pepsi.
Good for words, just like I always do. Cherry Pepsi, grab some taste of the good life.
Well, you know that Pepsi was created for the African American community.
Hello, love.
They couldn't trust it.
I'm jumping.
You should get that conservative one.
Remember, kids, always say no to strangers.
Vote Labour.
Look in for action and comedy from your ITV favourites. Plus news, views and colour features on the stars of pop and sport in Look In this
I
week.
wish that one didn't exist.
Did you ever get Look
Diamonds are for danger. The diamond sign means a dangerous look.
What's this? Don't shop at Sellafield.
Look out for the diamond sign. They all mean danger.
Sign, isn't it?
If there's an accident, when you see the diamond sign, keep away. Go to the nearest phone and dial 999. There might be an explosion or fumes that could kill you. Diamonds are for danger.
I keep switching to Boosie, I can't see the advert when he talks. Wait, actually, I can change it.
From dependable Skoda dealers come dependable Skodas. Skodas with performance and style. Practical, spacious, with impressive specifications.
And what's this? A brand new car!
Skodas are tough.
Should watch Price is Right.
Really comfortable family cars at really comfortable prices.
What?
Test drive a Skoda and see for yourself. Ask your local dealer. You really can afford.
He was funny, man. He
was
in the wrong place at the wrong time, wasn't he?
Get that rainbow feeling with the Daily Mirror. It's the new game that's really hot. Every number we print is on your card. So
you
you're
think
in the
about
play
conspiracy,
every
the more you
day.
think it's
Just fill in a rainbow line and you're a winner. Plus, new Big Cash Bingo. Free cards at your newsagent. Go for gold with rainbow. Only in your super colour Daily Mirror.
Oh yeah, the Mirror.
What year? Can you give us a year at least for this? I don't recognise anything.
Marathon's just a job.
They're so big. Peanuts inside. Big bar.
I was probably about 6 when this.
Really enjoy it.
The caramel is really scrumptious and the peanuts are beautiful.
Peanuts are beautiful.
Shows from the old days, eh? I like to.
Marathon.
Some mothers do. Some mothers do have them.
Milk chocolate. That's marathon.
Yeah, what's that?
Full of peanuts.
Eh?
It's full of nuggets.
Some mothers do have them.
Between meals.
Yeah.
Packed with peanuts. Marathon really satisfying.
He still, he still sounds the same now.
Well, yeah, they do, don't they? They do.
He did a show recently. He looks exactly the same and he sounds the same.
Oh, yeah, this was wicked. This was wicked, this advert.
no heart.
That's with Bob Hoskins.
Different as can be.
Bob Hoskins, I did a great answer.
These others then should have their bag. Time for holiday. You make it neat.
He was the face of BT, wasn't he, for short
If you know what's good for you, you do.
Okay.
No, that's
Bob
more
Hoskins.
Weetabix.
Yeah, it was Bob Hoskins. No, you're thinking of Say Style. The guy, Reg from Coronation Street.
Really?
Yeah, Bob Hoskins was the face of BT.
Sorry guys, I'm going to have to go because it's coming up to time for my tea, and I'm going to have a lesson at 7 o'clock. This is UK, California time, so that's in about 2 hours.
He's got a lesson.
When are you going? When are you doing when are you running? When are you running away from California to Utah?
I'm just playing it by ear, making sure I'm ready. That's all I'm doing at the moment. Making sure I'm ready and.
When are you running for governor of California?
Run for the border.
Because it's not the governator anymore. It's okay. Pelosi's nephew is the governor of California.
Oh God.
Yes. That give you enough of an idea?
It's all in the family, isn't it?
Yeah, there's 4 families that run California: the Gettys, the Pelosi's, the Browns, and the Newsoms.
That's how hard
I don't know what this is.
Never say yes to a cigarette.
Never say yes to a cigarette.
Nicotine.
Okay, well, I'm going to see you guys.
I always take great care
check in when I
But it could be better.
All right, Boozy, you take care, mate.
Could be better.
Mate. God
Your
bless you. Thanks for
but not
popping in
really
tonight.
soft and
It was good
fresh.
to talk to you.
Nice talking, Boozy. You know a lot of
New
stuff.
Bold 3-Can. It's an entirely new concept in automatic powders. We've taken a fabric
What was the slogan for that? What was? I can't remember what it is.
The
Duckham's Hyper Grade, the engine's choice.
Automatic powder.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look.
Bold
Bold
3
automatic.
What was Bold slogan? Was it won't let you down?
I don't know.
True. My
Cleans,
whole wash
protects.
is really clean. Lubricates jeans.
And
Even the knees.
wipes your bottom.
My towels are soft and
How
fluffy.
soft.
So fresh. Now I know.
What, we're going to do voiceover now after this?
Automatic
Yeah,
does do it
because
all.
we haven't got the audio, so we have to make it up.
Clean,
softens.
Clean softens, freshens, all in one.
If you want this cereal, the answer's written clear.
I love
It says Weetabix.
This is a filling station.
Oh, nice.
Weetabix.
Good roughage. Good for
Or
cleaning out.
or a bit of golden syrup.
Make it neat, sweet space. If you know what's good for you,
Couldn't eat
you
on their own.
do.
So just dry.
Weetabix.
It's like eating
If you know what's good for you.
Ollie, look at the chat on Facebook, says Amanda Rolfson. Amanda Rolfson.
See you later, Boozy.
It began as a game,
OMO used
and
for.
suddenly it became reality.
Tell him next time. What's this?
Trapped on the other side of the screen, a computer genius is forced to play his own video games with more than a high score at stake. Tron, an incredible motion picture. Tron at a cinema near you from this weekend.
Was that when it was in the cinema?
Oh, this is in
I like the Lawnmower Man. The Lawnmower Man, the first one. The other ones were rubbish.
What was that movie?
Yeah, it's Lawnmower. You've not seen the Lawnmower Man with Pierce Brosnan?
No.
About someone who he's got learning difficulties, and Pierce Brosnan is a scientist who makes him intelligent, and then he gets so intelligent that he bypasses his human body and goes into a computer system and becomes the internet. Yeah, But don't watch the other ones, they were rubbish. I don't know, because they didn't have Pierce Brosnan in for one. The second ones were awful. It's funny because the first one starts with a priest beating this man who's not very intelligent, because he keeps looking at women. It's one of those really hard line priests, you know, gets his belt out, makes him say Hail Marys and all that.
When the Italians aren't waving their hands,
you should watch it. Have you watched any good films in the 80s? Like The Fly?
Heading this way.
It's Alan Wicker.
A word about your plan.
Oh, what's he doing?
Will it let you sample the vintage Venus?
Oh, it's credit card, MasterCard.
Will it help you look like Al
I
Pacino?
know what these are.
No.
See what they were pushing cashless even then?
The fact is, throughout Italy, the British Barclay card is welcomed at thousands more.
I got my card, and I got a,
charge card like
what was it,
that's also
a cornet.
in France.
Oi! I got the cornet too!
Isn't he in the wrong commercial?
That's right.
No matter where you bank, apply for a Barclay card now.
Barclay card.
If only. But he didn't.
Anyway, you know what, Jay?
That was a public information.
I'm going to close it up, mate. I'm going to close shop.
I guessed that about half an hour ago.
Yeah.
And with that, we reach the end of another evening on BBC One.
You should do this, though. You should do
we
this.
do hope you've enjoyed our programmes and that you'll join us tomorrow.
BBC One coming
Just a reminder that, as ever, Radio 2 awaits your company should you care to join Brian Matthew round midnight. On behalf of everyone here, this is Lorna Thomas wishing you a very good night.
Right. That's when they're closing, wasn't it? When they say good night.
Yeah, have a puppy. Right, okay. You know what? It's that time of night. I want to say, I don't know. Yeah, it's been a long show, and it's been a great show, and it's been a fascinating show, and I hope you shared it, and I'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And Jay Carey, God bless you, mate. Thank you for holding out for the entire duration of the show. And
it was a weird one tonight. I've got to say,
it was. We went all over. Yeah. Big cheers to Marcus, to Magnum Anon, and to Chris Boozy, and to you lot for hanging out.
Hanging out for sticking with us this long.
Amazing. Most of them didn't. Hold it. There you go. I'm not endorsing MasterCard or any of those Bold 3 or anything. And certainly not BBC One. Nor coronavirus, but it's probably preferable to getting the flu. According to the stats, yeah, half as likely
to be honest, I completely forgot about coronavirus during this session.
Well, that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing. Quarantine. This is what it does to you, you see. This is what it does to you. Anyway, back to
Get used to it, Ollie. Get used to it, because if QAnon's just a psyop, this could be going on for years.
Oh, mate. I'll tell you what, it's going to go on for at least another couple of months. What do you reckon?
Trump says April 1st we're going to get an announcement, a very important announcement, so we'll just have to wait for that. Only a few days away. But why April Fools? Is he going to expose the fools?
Let's hope so. I'll tell you what, it seems to me, I don't know what to think anymore. Anyway, look, God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow, 5 o'clock GMT, 1 o'clock EDT. See you then. Ciao.
Here's to us some bag of plutocracy.
Quite right.
Yes.